Short, bald, and angry.
You sometimes find that your dreams get in the way of your dream. Get out of here! Dreams blocking dreams. Dreams preventing my dreams from dreaming. Get out of here, Baldy! He called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 she-bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys.
I'm a shooter, goddammit.
Cross me again, I'll put a bullet through your head!
Not that kind of shooter. I'm a peace-loving shooter. A cameraman. I might appear to be short, bald, and angry on the outside, but I assure you I am tall, happy, and handsome on the inside. I am a walking contradiction. Let's get this thing started. In 3, 2, 1.
Is he clean, Mikey? Is he clean?
Super clean, man. So every now and then I'll just be like this. If you're not talking directly into the mic, it might
Is he
not
clean?
sound.
Is he dirty?
I'm due to rewatch that movie right now, man.
Oh, dude, it's a classic. You gotta do it. Do yourself a favor.
Swingers, man.
Yeah.
You saw Made?
Are we recording right now?
Yeah, I wasn't, but I just started now. You saw that movie Made too, right?
Yeah, I did.
That was like the same idea,
Oh.
same like character dynamic, but they were 2 totally different characters.
It's just Vince Vaughn just plays Vince Vaughn. Let's be honest here. He's just an awesome guy who just
He's-
acts like himself.
He's actually a pretty trained actor, man.
He is when he does act, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are films where he actually acts.
And he does plays.
Like he was in The Cell. Remember that
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, it's
like,
funny going back and watching
weird,
it
right?
because you like how sarcastic and goofy he is.
Yeah, but he's like
He's playing like a serious
Yeah,
role.
but then you're just like, fuck you, Vince Vaughn.
It's
like,
kind of
just-
hard to take
yeah.
it seriously rewatching
It's
it.
just too funny. He was also in Psycho, right? Wasn't he like the bad guy in Psycho?
You know, the
new version of
remake.
Psycho?
I don't know if I ever saw it.
I never saw it either. I just kind of know random tidbits of shit.
We were rewatching. We saw Psycho the other night. We had a pumpkin carving party here,
How many
and
people?
it's like I
How many
can't enjoy that movie, man.
Dude, hold on a second. You had a pumpkin carving party?
Yeah.
Like how many people showed up to carve pumpkins?
There weren't that many people carving. I don't know. There were like 10, maybe 12 people here.
You guys get drunk? Handle
Yeah.
sharp knives?
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
carve? Did anybody hurt themselves?
No,
Oh man, I would
not
totally,
at this.
I would
But
totally
this new
hurt
job,
myself.
this new job I have is pumpkin carving. I'm not allowed to talk about the details of what this thing was, but we had like 150 people who were carving.
Yeah.
We were just walking around guiding them through it.
Yeah.
And out of 150 people, only 2 people cut themselves, man.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's a low
But there
ratio.
were people just like, cutting into their hands with the blade like this close to their,
God.
like less than an inch away from their hands.
Oh my god.
It's like, come on, common fucking sense here, man.
You know, I grew up in that flower shop. Yeah, you know this. Like my dad had a flower shop, so I kind of grew up going to that flower shop and
You learned how to cut.
yeah. I mean, like you know, one thing about working in a flower shop is like you have to learn how to use a knife because you're cutting stems, cutting open boxes all day, and
Yeah.
just slicing shit with your hands all day. So
If you want to pull this back into you can do that, man.
oh,
Not that. This whole thing.
there it is.
Yeah.
Here, how's this though? How's this? Is this good?
Talk.
Yeah, how's this? Is this working?
It sounds alright.
Check 1, check 2.
I'm gonna fix it though. It was probably better before.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry to cut you off, man. But yeah, do you want me to push it into you? Close to your knees?
It's fucking dirty, dude.
Yeah.
How's this? Is this better?
Talk to me.
How's it? Check 1, check 2.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, man. So you were learning to cut back at your father's flower shop.
So at the flower shop, you know, you got to learn how to use a knife. And when I was a kid, I was like 11 years old. You know, I wanted to stop messing around in the flower shop. I used to just like run around and like as like a little kid and like play with stuff, like, you know, just like make little bow and arrows out of shit. Just like I was like really bored.
Right.
Going to like work with my dad. So
Yeah, nobody wants to do that when they're a kid.
yeah, and eventually I was like, Dad, I want to learn how to, you know, just give me a knife. I want to start working. He's like, you're gonna cut yourself with these knives because the knives are sharp. They're those red ones, those like floral knives. And I was like, no, give me the knife. So he gives me the knife, and like my first cut into a flower, I slice my thumb open like something nasty. And he just takes one look at it, and he's got this like thick Greek accent, and he just goes, okay, you learn now, okay. And he just wrapped it up in like a paper towel and some tape. And then he gave me the knife. He's like, don't cut yourself. Like that was it. And I got better. But then recently, the reason I'm telling this whole story is because recently, about a year ago, I see that mark on my hand, on my finger right there.
Kind of dark.
Oh,
Can't see.
dude, it's just I have this
got a
gnarly
scar?
scar where like I was cutting up. I had a bread knife, and you know how bread knives are.
Serrated?
It's a serrated bread knife, and I was cutting into this like hard loaf of bread, and it just like slid right off the surface and sliced through my fucking knuckle, dude.
Damn.
Like I
Through
took
the
one look
knuckle
at it.
itself?
Yeah, like it was bad. I should have gone to the hospital, and I didn't. And I looked at it, and I got like green, and I had to lay down. And I was like gonna throw up, and then I managed to like chew it back.
You were cutting bread.
Yeah, and ever since then, I've been this was a gnarly cut. So now I'm just like scared of knives.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try not to talk about pumpkin carving too much, but I just learned crazy glue will seal that shit right up.
Yeah.
You just seal it, like if you have a wound and you're out in the field carrying some crazy glue around, just seal it up. And that was
Yeah.
like a military thing, like the army, or
Yeah.
the military created crazy
I've heard
glue
of
for
this.
that reason.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
This is good. I'll carry crazy glue with me from now on.
Yeah. if
Anytime
we're-
I'm doing like sharp knife work,
You never know, man.
a little wet work, no big deal.
Those ice cubes sound great.
Oh God,
What are you drinking here?
drinking bullet bourbon.
Yeah.
Did you want some of this? I brought it for both of us.
Maybe, man. I
not-
like beer.
Okay, do the beer. I can't drink that beer
Why
because I'm
not?
getting old now, and I
Your
get
gut?
I get a bump. No, I get like a weird bump on my head.
What do you mean?
I think I have like an allergic reaction to IPAs where I get like a little bubble in my head.
Like a headache?
No, dude.
It
like
literally sticks
It
out?
looks like a fucking golf ball under the skin on the right side of my head in the
Start
temple.
Cronenberging out?
And it looks
turn
really,
into the fly?
it freaks me out, dude. Yeah, it looks like the fly's like head bubbling out. Like that. It literally looks like that.
Well, I'm tempted to give you some beer now. That's
No, I know, right?
interesting,
So
man.
should we test the
Document
theory?
it. Yeah, shoot it.
I can drink whiskey. It doesn't bother me.
At the end of the podcast, we're going to show a video of Tommy having
No
bubble pop out of his head.
fucking way. No, I'm not. I have to take a fucking Benadryl, and then I'm just gonna pass out. So
Yeah, so even though there's an intro to this podcast, let's just do a little intro, like you do an intro here. You're Tommy Agriodimas. I know you first as a photographer, but you've grown into a cinematographer, a director of photography, a producer, a director, and you have a company called Ungano. Did I say
Yeah.
Julian's name right?
yeah,
Ungano and Agriodimas. It's you and your buddy started this company together.
yeah. You can call it U+A for short.
U plus A.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
It's like a U.
It's a
and
sexy-
like a plus sign and then an A.
It's a sexy company, man.
It's sexy. I
I
like
mean,
that.
you two shoot a lot of sexy women. Half the time I look at what you're doing and I'm like, God damn it, what have I done with my fucking life? Like I'm always just like dirty and just doing some like hard, dirty shit somewhere. And whenever I see you two
Just
pop
sounds
up
so
in the
bad
feed,
coming out of your mouth like that.
whenever I see you two doing whatever you're doing, I'm like, fuck, I'm doing this wrong.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that, but you know, there's a lot of, this entire business.
I know it's not easy for you two either.
It's
but-
not easy, man. It's like
But you
goddamn
shoot
hustle.
a lot of beautiful women.
Like,
You shoot some famous people. And you work for
fortunately-
some great brands.
Fortunately, I have been able to photograph and meet some beautiful, well-known people,
Yeah.
some women and some actors and models and stuff, and that's been cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's weird, man. It's like when you photograph people. Like I always fancied myself a portrait photographer more than anything.
That was your
I just-
first thing.
Yeah, I just always loved portraits. Portraits was my thing, man. Like I love looking at somebody's face and just kind of. It doesn't matter what you look like. Like even now, like so when it's like every day when I'm on the subway, I look at everybody's face, and I find something that I really like about their face.
We're similar that way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude. You draw and you.
I mean, whatever.
You
Even
just
if I'm not drawing faces
whip
right
up
now,
drawings
I
like
just
crazy.
love face. I can draw faces for the rest
You
of my
can just
life.
faces, yeah, and just like eyes, like, and isn't it amazing when you see somebody who's got like maybe like a weird eye or like a crooked nose or like amazing lines on their face?
They're more interesting than pretty people. Half
Yeah,
the time.
dude, they're like amazing. It's like, and I know how people can be self-conscious about stuff like that, so
Yeah.
I try not to make it a thing, and especially when like photographing somebody, I think
Do you photograph strangers? Do you just like walk around and ask strangers these days? I know you used to.
I used to, for sure. Like that was like a big part of like growing and learning, and
Yeah.
I did a lot of street photography and a lot of just walking up to people and just striking up a conversation.
That's
and
how I
being
met
like,
you.
Hey,
You know how we met?
how do we meet
Do
exactly?
you not remember?
Was it?
I was dating Nora, at the time, and you came right up to her, and you were like,
Oh
"I need to take
God!
a picture."
Right in front of you.
Yeah,
And you guys were dating.
yeah, you know that
Yeah,
that
shit.
sketch,
Okay.
that Key and Peele sketch, Tackle and Grapple. You know that one?
No.
There's
I love Key and Peele
there's
though.
a dude teaching a bunch of women how to tackle and grapple, and there's one dude in the class, and every time the dude gets in, he's like, "Get back, get away." Fucking, that's kind of what that felt like, man.
Did I fuck your?
You took a picture of me.
Did I
but,
fuck up your shit that
No,
day?
no, not at all,
Okay.
man. But
all right.
but you took one picture of me, and you took like, I don't know, 20 of her.
That was like what? That was what? 18 years ago.
2000, man. Yeah.
It's easy math. Mm-hmm. 18 years ago.
But yeah, that's how
Probably
I met
like
you were the guy going. I saw you doing it with everybody. You were just taking pictures.
I
with
just did
everybody
it with everybody, man. I have pictures of like Jed.
Yeah.
I've got pictures of Paul. I mean, I've got pictures of everybody.
It's awesome, man.
And you know,
you have them like backed up.
oh, it's
or
all
printed
on.
out.
Well, it's all on film.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
But you saved it. You
But
preserved
I
it.
still, I haven't been super meticulous, but I've been rather organized over the years, just with all my film and
Yeah.
and how to keep it all and have all. Like, I always spent the extra money to get like the nice film boxes to make sure that they're archival and
Yeah,
they
man.
don't get destroyed by sunlight or air or dust or whatever. So, yeah, I have all that stuff, man.
People don't take it seriously. I think a lot of people give up on themselves. Even if it's not film, it's hard drives now. They just don't put the money or the thought into it, and then they fuck it up and they lose it, whatever it is, and then they just give up. You know,
Well,
you got to put the effort in.
You know what? You know what? I always like. I have this like insane fear of. I wouldn't call it an insane fear of death, but it's more of like an acknowledgement that we're all fucked and we're all gonna die. And I've always felt that way, so I always like taking pictures of people to be like, this person will die someday, but at least there's a really nice picture of them.
Nice,
And that's fucking dark, but
You're literally thinking that every time you're taking a
no,
picture?
but like it's happened,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with older people.
Right.
You know, like my wife now, my first and only current and only wife. Before we got married, years ago, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, I met her grandmother, and it was brief, but I remember thinking to myself, oh man, I really want to get a nice portrait of this lady. And I got this, she just gave me this is a woman who didn't like being in front of the camera. She's like very shy, whatever, but like I got lucky, I guess, and I just managed to just get this amazing little moment of her, and then like, a year later she passed away unexpectedly, and we managed to have that photograph of her, and like that's like the photograph of her. You know what I mean? It's like
And everybody's super grateful for it. Everybody loves
it's
you
just
for it,
it's just one of those like oh wow, it's I think there's a difference between like looking through an old photo album and being like, oh yeah, that was like a fun time, or that was a great trip, or this one's a little out of focus, but she looks good here, versus like, wow, this is like a perfectly exposed Hasselblad, like medium format, black and white, just photograph of this woman.
And not a crappy iPhone photo.
Yeah,
iPhones are pretty sick now, so they're not crappy, but there's still something better about what you do.
There's, I mean, you get a decent, you get like a nice tool, like you a nice camera, you get to take a nice picture of somebody in a nice moment, and it lasts forever. I respect that. About the medium.
I have real emotional moments when I'm looking back on video work, and I imagine it's the same for photo. You're capturing real people in real moments, and it's just super powerful.
I mean, video too. Video is like so much looser about it all. Mm-hmm. Like photography, you can be very, very focused and constrained in how you sort of create that moment,
because it's one thing.
Because it's one slice of the moment.
Yeah.
So you can be, and you can like, in post, you can sort of print it in a certain way or present it in a certain way or make it black and white or this or that. When you're dealing with video, it's a whole other ballgame, because all of a sudden audio is in the mix, and all of a sudden lighting is really in the mix, and movement and like not being ready. But there's also a beauty in that, and catching people in that environment as well.
Yeah.
But
you can speak to both now.
I can speak to both now, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I remember like my senior thesis was taking pictures of like old people in Greece. It was called Generations.
I remember it, man.
And it was like young people, old people, and everybody in between. And it was just like, and it was all in Greece. It was like my friends and family out there, and and like all all except one of the old people have passed away. You know, my grandfather's still around and kicking. So
Yo, we gotta talk about him. I remember the one thing I remember from that show more than anything is the shot of the old man's wrinkly hand in the cane.
oh yeah, that was a nice
I feel like
one.
that represented the whole show to me at least. But
That was like the headliner image.
It was,
of the
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
printed that like extra big and like had it sort of like on the postcard. and
yeah, I'm not
whatnot.
making it up. You did it on purpose.
I definitely did it on purpose. Also, because it's sort of everything else is like people's faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was.
It's
Oh,
nice
was
to
it-
have that one outlier photo that represents the whole thing.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not like the others.
I kind of thought I was going to go into like photojournalism of some kind.
It's not too
after-
late. Never too late.
It's never too
You don't.
late.
You don't think you're doing that at all? Or you don't? Do
I
it
don't
at all
really
anymore?
do it. I don't really do that. I do it, but really only for me and in small doses. I don't.
You guys are doing
can't.
fashion photography? Is that
We're like
what
yeah,
you
we're
call
like
it?
fashion and commercial photographers.
Fashion
like,
commercial.
but like the fashion that we do we get a lot of shit from just like meeting with especially agents over the years. Like when we show our book,
What do they say?
they'll be like, "Oh, your fashion is very portraity. It's not very fashiony."
What's it supposed to be, like full body action poses or something?
Well,
Or-
it's not. You know, you can't really quantify it by just like saying that.
I was looking at it
It's-
though. I feel like some of it is, and some of it's full body, and you guys have a wide range.
It's
You
more.
do.
It's more about like the tonality and like the certain and sort of the artistic merit that you're taking in imagery.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, we're my partner Julian and I really see eye to eye with like sort of like our philosophy about photography in general. And what kind of got us into it independently of each other.
What is it?
Is just like the portrait. You
just
know, it's like the classic sort of clean.
Yeah.
Like portrait and like a very honest look into somebody's face and sort of just getting it and not making the environment really about who they are or something.
Not making it or
not making it
not
or like
being
making it
obsessed
like
with
a
it?
prop. Like it, you know, like it's okay. Having a prop is cool sometimes, and like having them in a certain environment is also cool. But like, how just looking somebody right in the eye is really, and like catching a moment of them like in their eye or a look away or like an in between moment where they're like didn't expect that you're going to snap that photo or whatever. You know, like one of Richard Avedon's most famous photographs is a photograph of Marilyn Monroe. And it's like I don't remember what he said to her, what was going on. I think he said something to her like, "Oh, we're not ready yet. We're not like the lights aren't ready yet. So just like stay here and just hang out." And he had the
And
camera.
he was doing it on purpose
He
to
had
get
the- yeah,
her to just be
he was because she was someone who she was a freaking pro, man. Like she was a pro. She gets in front of the camera, she turns it on. That she had.
And he didn't want to.
And he didn't want the it. He wanted the real.
I remember this. I was obsessed with that photo. I had it in like a book.
You
of,
do. You remember
like
it.
portraits, like drawings and photos that I loved, and
I
was
love that.
Pretty obsessed with that shot.
I love the concept of
Yeah.
how like the way he sort of manipulated her into just letting her guard down.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes as a photographer you have to do that, you know. And
Yeah.
other times, there's a lot of like we got to make this person look good, and like that's and what's funny is like the people that just always look good, and they just look good, and they're professionally good looking, really, really, really good looking.
Yeah.
Like that's cool and everything.
Blue steel,
But,
even
like-
when they're not blue stealing.
Like
Resting blue steel face.
yeah, resting BS face. But like I don't think
Is that what you call it?
I don't want to necessarily just do the same thing all the time that everybody else does.
Yeah.
So if you got somebody in front of the camera who's like epic, well then maybe you take an off moment and like that's your select. Like that's the one because
It's crazy. We always have to do that, man.
You know?
Every job, everything that we do, we always kind of have to come at it from a different angle and reinvent something in some way. Even if it's not the whole wheel,
I think so.
you kind of have to turn
I
it
think
around
it's
and look at it a
important.
different way, right?
Yeah, dude, I think it's important
Yeah.
to like, to create, destroy, glue it back together, destroy it again,
Yeah.
glue it back together, and then by the end, like you might have a whole pile of shit. But like,
I hate myself when I
it's
phone
unique.
it in, man. Phoning it in to me kills me, and I do it. There's plenty of work that I don't want to do that I'm just like, all right, I gotta phone it in a little bit.
Sometimes you gotta phone it
that'll
in.
get the job done.
And listen, sometimes you're not the boss.
Yeah, totally.
You know, there's so many times where we get hired to do something, and it's like we get hired based on our merit and our work,
But they actually don't want you in charge?
And our creativity, and then you show up to talk about it. You have a phone call, a production meeting, or whatever, and like, okay, yeah, you got hired on your merit and your portfolio, but it has literally nothing to do with the work that we are hiring you to do. Mm-hmm. We just acknowledge the fact that you are capable and able to do this work, and we happen to maybe think you're an okay guy, so here you go, you got a job. And it's like, okay, great.
I think it's a thing where agencies, they get their creative brief together, or they get their creative brief from maybe the company, and they turn it into their treatment or whatnot, and they work it up, and they could find an artist or director or whoever, and they're modeling their whole thing after them, and they don't even need them. They can just copy that style and just do it, really. And if they're honorable, they'll bring you in and they'll give you credit and pay you.
Yeah.
But technically, they could do it without you half the time, right?
Yeah.
That shit kind of pisses me off, man.
Well, I mean, every creative agency, like, not to knock like creative agencies.
Yeah, you have to be careful with me because I like knocking everybody, especially creative agencies.
I mean, listen, this isn't really knocking creative agencies. This is more just like knocking, almost like the speed in which we need to produce now.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're a creative director and you've got like 8 clients, and all of them, and those 8 clients 15 years ago, they needed a grand total of like 30 assets.
Right.
Okay. You know what? Over the next 6 months, we're going to provide these 8 clients with these 30 assets. We're going to break that up into like 5 different shoots. It's going to be great.
But now Johnny
and
in-house
each
can
shoot
do
is
it
like 5
himself
images
in a
or
day,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, but now it's like because of phones and because of the way that, the speed of the media and the speed that we're consuming. I feel like we're sounding like every other fucking podcast talking about this.
I don't know. I don't listen to photography podcasts.
I mean, just like in general, just the speed of the media.
I don't know if
podcast.
Yeah, go with it, man.
But,
I don't know if I've heard this on a podcast.
But like, we just digest, and we're just shoveled all this shit to like for our eyes to see all the time, and the creatives need to spit it out.
Yeah.
All the time, and so you know what? Like, if you're a creative director and you're like, listen, here's the brand, here's the project, here's the concept. I need some imagery to like really like kind of hit this idea home, and they see it. Then they're gonna say, hey, okay, you made this imagery. This is sort of the vibe we want. Oh, but we need, like, instead of 7 images, we need 17. We need 27 images.
Yeah.
We need a billboard. We need this. We need that. We need iPad size. We need freaking phone size. We need Snapchats. We need Instagram size. Facebook videos. Yeah. We need vertical crops.
Yo, it's crazy when you're an artist thinking hard. Like, I still love the cinematic horizontal thing despite iPhone vertical video shit.
Yeah.
But even the square, to think like...
That's a whole
to
conversation.
think I have to put this face in the middle of the frame because you need it to fit on Instagram and you're too lazy to just move the video over into the middle. Like, that shit kills me. It's like, no, I need to shoot with this person on the right of the frame or the left of the frame. I need to do it.
Dude, I went to this weird thing this summer called the Instagram Summer School.
No shit. Where was that?
I know it sounds really stupid. It was sort of this.
It's all right, man. It's more important than Instagram is kind of everything right now. I get it, man.
Yeah, we're all just addicted to just that scrolling
it's smart,
through that
it's
shit.
It's smart business in addition to the fact that everyone's addicted. It's smart business because everyone's addicted.
But it's also like listen. There's Instagram. You look at some people's Instagram, and you're just. I love them. I love certain people have Instagrams. I'm like, this guy's a fucking genius. I love this person.
I love Instagram.
And then all of a sudden you get like a weird ad for some shit, and you're like,
and
oh
you get
god.
Angry. I get angry at all that.
I forget. Sometimes
even the ones
I forget.
that are for me that I like, I'm like still angry.
For me, it's all like photo related crap.
Right.
Like just trying to market me. Like, the new gimbal by so and so.
I'm sure we have similar ads
pushed
our way, man.
I know we do. It's so ridiculous.
But what was this? What was it? What was it called? Instagram School?
Oh yeah, the Instagram Summer School. So
Summer School.
My agent, like my producer, my agency sent me this link. Like, hey, there's this thing. It's like we got an invite, and we're extending it to our some of our artists. Maybe you should check it out. And so it was free, and it was like once a week for 4 weeks. It was like every Wednesday or something.
Nice, man.
And you go in to like the Instagram head office, and
where is it? It's here in New York.
It's here in New York, though. It's over near like the cube Where's
Yeah.
the Cube? Just
The
south
Astor
of Union
Place?
Square, Astor Place.
Yeah.
It's like right near there. It's like a block away from there.
I had no idea.
And so I went over to that just to check it out because, Instagram, it's sort of like it's a tough nut to crack. Like if you're like a business, so like I have my personal one, I have my secret one, and then I have my my business one.
You're not going
right?
to shout out the secret one?
I mean, I'll shout out this. It's not even really a secret one. It's just like it's a photo nerd one.
Yeah, where you're showing all the cameras that you
Yeah, I've told
have,
you
or
about
even
this.
just the cameras you love, or is it just the cameras that you have?
It's the cameras that it's like a personal diary of cameras that I've like used and owned in my life.
Yeah.
That because I've gone through so many cameras. Like I'll like buy a camera, have it for a year.
Tommy is a true camera lover.
I'm
Like, absolute camera lover.
I'm definitely like a camera nerd.
Yeah.
To the max, man. And so I sort of started forgetting like what cameras I've used and had over the years. So I decided to just start this little Instagram, and I'll
great
just
for that, man.
I'll just I won't even take a picture of the camera that I had. Like I'll just go online, find like a clean picture of the camera, and be like, this is on like white background. Be like, this is the camera that I had. I'll post it and be like, when I was like 19, I had this camera for a couple of years. I used it for this stuff, and it's sort of like a little memory jogger as to what I used it for. And what's funny is like I've actually gone back and repurchased some of those older cameras because I missed them. I missed that option. It's like it's just, I believe that like the camera is like a tool in a tool belt.
Oh, yeah. Casey Neistat, right?
What?
Casey Neistat?
No, I don't.
Oh, I should show you shit. He's crazy, man. I'll send you a video where it's just his studio. His studio is so
Is it just loaded
dope,
with
man.
cameras?
It's not just loaded with cameras. I'll send you the link. It's just super organized. Got shelves. It's wild. But in addition to that,
I like organized cameras.
Oh yeah, same man.
Real nerd.
He's got the philosophy that the camera's a tool, and it's like shouldn't be too precious with it. They're gonna
Right.
break. They're gonna fuck, and you got to use them all. Like
Yeah.
Like a lot of people just have cameras sitting around. He's like, no, let's fucking use all of them, and they break and buy new ones. And
Yeah.
Stay up to date. Try old shit.
I don't like breaking cameras.
I don't know. I mean, he's not advocating for breaking
some,
him, but
no,
he's
but like some
trying not to be
some
precious,
photographers, they're like, oh yeah, just kind of sling it around my neck, and if it bangs on the thing, whatever, I don't care.
I don't like that either because I'm pretty broke most of the time.
I'm not trying to be dropping money on cameras all the time,
Yeah.
but like, and I'm very like frugal and thrifty about like, like if the hot new like camera comes out, that's like $8,000, I'm gonna be like, that's cool. I'm not gonna buy that camera because I know for a fucking fact that the camera that costs $3,000 is just as good, if not better, for multitude of reasons.
Do you have the Sony A7S? What is it?
The A7? No, I don't. But I was looking at it today. The A7 III.
That's the
I'm
one that's
really
really
interested in
that's the
that.
one that's like right in the middle. I feel like that's the center of the fucking photo universe right now.
That's a nice camera.
It's just, it's not.
It's
It's
nice.
just it has all the options at the best price. I think.
There's difference between the options and the way it feels in your hand.
Yeah.
And like for me, like today when I was at the Photo Expo today, by the way.
Right at Jacob Javits Center.
At the Javits Center.
Nerding out on photo gear.
I
wish I knew that was
I
happening.
got into
Not that I could have gone.
I got into whole arguments with people. I mean, it was great. It was phenomenal. Just nerding out. I learned some things I didn't know about certain things, and I had a good time. I really. It's funny, like when you talk to like a sales rep or like a company rep, they just kind of spew the same crap at you.
Like they maybe don't care, right?
Yeah, well,
There's a good chance they don't.
They don't
care.
know how much you know, and they know that like they have like they're in their mind. Okay, well, I need to just represent the company, represent the product, and like these are the specs. So boom, boom, boom.
I'm sure some of them know their shit and care about it, and some of them don't know their shit and just are good at selling what they can sell.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a rep at for the Photo Expo, chances are you're like. You're into it. You're a nerd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what's funny is like they don't know. There's a lot of really like if you ever hung out at a camera store, there's a lot of really nerdy fucking people who kind of just stand around like waiting to like chime in.
Not even the employees. You're talking about
like
just people hanging out.
People that just hang out. People that are just and you know what? And
It's like being at a
and
comic
I've
store,
been that guy.
Yeah.
I've literally been that guy. And oh my god, one time I was in LA. Me and Julian were in LA. At Sammy's camera, and I think I was standing there waiting for something, and I overheard this woman, this like maybe 60-year-old woman, kind of with these glasses on, looking at this guy who's trying to sell printers. And she's like trying to buy a printer, and she's like, "What printer should I buy?" You know, and he's like, "Oh, well, you know, if you're looking to print this or that or large printing, how big are you gonna print?" And she's like, "I just want to print some pictures of my grandchildren. Like, I'm not like a big photographer or whatever." And I'm like, I'm sitting here just like thinking to myself, where is this guy gonna fucking hard sell this woman right now? Is he gonna try and sell like a $2,000 Epson printer that she'll never need? And he did.
Oh man.
He fucking did. He's
chimed
like,
in?
he looked at her. He's like, "Well, you know, if you want really high quality, you should really look at this one."
Easy
and it
target,
was
right?
it was like, dude, it was a printer that like, you know, like a printing lab would get for their 13 by 19 like, you know, pigment prints for
I wish I
whatever.
had that, yeah.
And I couldn't, in all good conscience.
So what did you say?
I just kind of looked at her and I was like, I'm really sorry to interrupt. I'm like, you just want to print like pictures of your niece and nephew? She's like, yeah, and your kids? She's like, yeah, just like family photos, like no big deal. I was like, you don't need to spend $2,000 on this printer. There's a lot of options. Where we're like, well, you could go to the lab and spend like $10 and get like a ton of prints made, or you can like go online.
You were advocating for not buying a printer.
Yeah,
like
don't buy the printer.
there's so many services out there now.
So
man.
many
There's
services.
apps. Yeah, it's so easy.
Totally. And the thing is too is like, you know, like these printers, they're annoying to maintain. I find that the ink actually evaporates over time, like just through the air.
Oh, we have a really expensive
It
printer
just
here.
disappears.
It fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, the ink just disappears. You got to like clean the heads. It's a whole fucking nightmare. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on printers, man. Like
It's funny, man. I didn't know Tommy was such a printer nerd too.
Oh man, I would put me back in a fucking lab and just like hand print photography.
I just want to say for all the listeners, Tommy's also like one of the coolest dudes ever. So when he's like talking about nerding out, it's funny because he is a nerd. He's also super cool, and the ladies love him.
The ladies love me.
Yeah, man.
Oh, the ladies love me. No,
All my lady friends over the years have loved you.
I appreciate that. I've loved them as well, Ian. Anyway, hold on. Let's rewind here, dude.
To what?
Dude, we got off track big time. I was talking about Instagram.
Right, Instagram Summer School.
Okay, let me just tell you what that was real quick because it was pretty interesting.
I need to
And I was
know.
saying how like we like when you have an Instagram, you have a business, if you're trying to use Instagram as a tool for certain things, you know, sometimes talking to the experts that actually work at Instagram might be advantageous.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I went to the first one, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was like an hour and a half lecture. It was like a seminar where they were just talking about, you know, a certain aspect of it. And like now I don't have my notes on me. I was like taking notes because I was like treating it like a business.
Oh yeah, I do that shit too, man. If you're going to school, like fucking take advantage of it.
How it was so nice to sit down and take notes in a class.
Yeah.
Like I miss it, man. Like
I was doing business classes. Business classes are what's up too, man.
Dude, right? Like college is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I was pretty good. I didn't waste my classes, man.
I went to class. I didn't waste them, but like my mentality, I think I was too full of hormones and booze, and like whatever else I had going on, to like care enough about college when I was in college.
Yeah, man. Even in the dumbest class, there's something to be gained, man.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
I agree with that, 100%.
So Instagram Summer School, man. Day one.
Yes.
Cool.
Oh yeah. So we just learned a lot about like the analytics and how the analytics work.
Yeah.
You know, they're talking about how, you know, people are asking questions like why when I post I have like, you know, 10,000 followers, but like I'll post some cool shit and it'll only get like 100 likes. And they'll be like, well, how often are you posting? They'll be like, oh, well, like, you know, like once a day, once every other day.
Regularity is part of the key, they say.
And well, you know,
it's not just, it's an algorithm thing too. It's like if you stop posting, you just get pushed back.
It's not even that. It's a matter of the sheer quantity. So if you follow 1,000 people, okay, and each of those people's posting approximately one a day, that's 1,000. 1,000 images a day to scroll through.
Right.
Okay, let's pretend that like half of those people are actually posting multiple times a day.
Right.
You're looking at 2,000 to 4,000.
Right.
What are the chances that you're going to see my random picture of like
If you did one,
if I just posted
a
it
week.
one? Yeah, you're not. So like that's the whole thing. They were like, they made it a point to say. I remember they were like, if you think of it as like a stream of water and it's like a drip, like your perfect beautiful post is like this beautiful raindrop that
Right.
falls in this like epic way. It's
it's-
not.
it's
It's a
gone.
fucking hurricane of those water droplets.
Right.
Coming in all directions at all times.
That's what the Instagram people said. Huh?
Yes, they were like
Hurricane.
If you want your shit to be
Instagram is
seen,
a fucking
post,
hurricane.
post. That's
Yeah.
it. And don't be shy about it. And don't think like, oh, people are gonna think I'm a loser because I'm posting so much.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
I stopped caring about that shit a long time
yeah,
ago.
who cares a shit?
Yeah.
You know, and if your friends are talking shit to you, like, oh man, why are you such a fucking dork because you're posting so much? You can just say to your friends, hey, listen, I'm just trying to get my shit out there. So if you don't like it, stop following me.
Different
Like, whatever, man.
We're in a creative field, and I think it's like if you're trying, especially
wanna
as like
see
an
it.
independent artist, like there's no agency working with me. I don't have any fucking team. I don't have a business.
You know, in a
I
lot
mean, I
of
have a
these,
business, but I don't have a company of people working for me.
dude,
I gotta do it myself.
In a
so.
lot of these big companies, Ian, they have a social media coordinator now.
And it's the influencer age too, man. So
Oh my
there's like
God.
social media coordinators working with the influencers to fucking change society.
I'm not going to tell you who the client is, but
Okay.
one of my clients dropped their entire advertising budget, which is like hundreds and I mean, like, it could be millions for all I know. They just dropped the whole thing, and they decided to stop advertising in the traditional sense.
and just do Instagram
And what they started
and Facebook.
what they started doing is using Facebook and Instagram
Yeah.
and YouTube.
That's what everyone's doing, man.
And
that's what the
getting-
agencies are doing.
Yeah, getting
That's what
all the
individuals are
influencers,
doing.
but not only just reaching out to the influencers,
Yeah.
like creating setting up events, right? So they'll be
Yeah.
they'll be like, we're gonna have an event in like Vancouver
Right.
and in the mountains, and we're gonna have some cool like thing that we're gonna like have an interior designer come and an art director design this whole thing up, and it's gonna be like a cool weekend filled with cool fun events,
And
we're
all
gonna
the
get
media.
like all these like 50 influencers. We're gonna pay them to fly first class there. We're gonna put them up in this epic hotel, and we're gonna like launch a new product with them there. They're gonna and like they're there and they're getting paid to be
Yeah.
there, and they're getting paid to hashtag and post the shit out of it to
Right.
their people.
It's insanely douchey and it's like so see-through. You can see through
It's so
we can see
transparent.
through it from a mile away, but,
But-
I guess it's if it's done smart and
But
tastefully,
Ian, let me tell you something.
It works, man.
It's targeted,
Yeah.
and like they're kind of right.
Oh yeah, no, I mean,
You
it's
know?
not going away either. It's just gonna dig in deeper.
Yeah.
At least for the next few years.
I mean, listen, if you're
Until some new technology
let's say you're into like, you know what's big, like makeup, right? Like makeup tutorials are a big deal.
Yeah, how-tos.
How-tos and like people getting wacky with the makeup, you know, guys and girls. Like
I love
mean,
the wacky makeup.
there's
I've
some
seen some funny-ass
there's some
makeup
guys
shit.
who, you know, you know, just Gigi, you know Gigi, there's
No.
a transgender.
I'll just
She's kind of amazing.
As I'm hosting my podcast, I'm also following people on Instagram. Look at this age we live in, man.
And you know, Gigi started out with makeup tutorials and like turned into this like YouTube sensation. And now-
Gigi,
yeah,
Hadid.
Gigi Gorgeous. That's the
Gigi
name.
Gorgeous.
Gigi Gorgeous.
What were you saying?
She's
I
a
got
babe,
it. Yeah.
but she used to be a guy. You know what I mean? Started out doing
Beautiful,
makeup
yeah.
tutorials as like a teenager in high school, and then it developed into this sort of following her through her entire process of changing gender.
And that's like how she got her following too at the same time.
I mean,
Do you
she
know?
got
I
her
don't
she
know.
got her following just through being pretty awesome at like doing
Yeah.
makeup, but then just being real
Right.
and just doing her thing and just kind of just going through that process
That's
and
where I'm
inspiring
at, man.
people.
I want to be more real and just be myself more on social media. And
I mean,
shit.
are you gonna? You know, you could also work on your transgender.
Unfortunately, I don't have that going for me, man. I'm
I
a
don't know,
straight
just-
white man.
That's
That's kind of out of fashion these days. It's not so hot.
Oh
And
man,
I could say that very honestly.
being a straight white
openly.
male in your 30s right now.
Yeah. It's not the coolest thing.
It's like I guess it's not very cool anymore,
Yeah.
huh? To be.
I'm fine with it. I'm not complaining. I want to say on the record I don't complain about that. It's just reality, man.
Oh man.
The tides have shifted, and it's good. I think Queens are ruling Brooklyn right now. I've been to a couple drag shows in the last few years, and I'm like,
Oh really?
they're the most outrageous. They're the loudest, the wildest, and because of the nature of the drama involved in being a drag queen,
Yeah.
it's just gonna blow everything else out of the water. They're just gonna be louder than everything else, you know. If like everything else, if sometimes being loud is just annoying.
My wife's calling me.
You wanna talk to her?
Hold on a second.
Put her on speaker.
Hey, what's up? Hi. I'm not home.
I
I'm
can
not
kind
home.
of hear her.
I'm doing a podcast right now. I gotta go. I love you.
Ask her if she wants to join.
No, she's
speaker.
she's got all kinds of crazy stuff going on right now. She's cool.
The elevator not working?
Yeah, the elevator. She's like, I'm coming up the elevator. Anyway,
Do
but
you mind if I talk about your elevator real quick?
sure, go ahead.
Tommy has a fucking elevator that goes straight into his apartment. That was awesome.
No
When
hallways.
I showed up there the other night, that was sick.
No-
It was like,
You know
it
what's
was
funny?
I was facing the wrong way, and then when the door opened, I turned around. And it was one of those like, holy shit.
You know, it's funny. When I
Moments.
first checked out that building, I was like weirded out by the whole elevator thing. But now I love it. And whenever I'm in a building that has hallways now,
It just cuts out. There's like
I'm
the
like-
hallway's a middleman, right?
I'm like, yeah, this is such a weird waste of space. The hallway. This is so strange. Like, why does this hallway exist?
Yeah, man.
So, you know, whatever.
Elevators for every fucking apartment.
I'm not an
If we
architect.
finally
let's put
get
it that
to
way.
like totally green technology, like sun powering everything, why not elevators in everybody's
Oh
apartment, right?
God, you know what I love? I love seeing solar panels.
Yeah.
Is that weird to like be like, just
No.
I'm walking by a building and I
Not
see
at
just
all,
like a
man.
shitload of solar panels? I'm
No,
like,
because
yeah,
we need
dude,
more.
get
It's
it.
not weird. It's fucking outrageous that there's not more at this
You know,
point.
I had this idea. And you tell me this is stupid. Think of the city, okay? Think of how many rooftops there are.
Yeah.
Think of how much square footage
We
and
need
how
rooftop
square
gardens
mileage.
and fucking solar panels on it. All of it. It should be a code, a building code.
That's exactly what my whole point is. Like, how is that not? You know how there's certain just regulations, and you can enforce building owners to do certain things to be up to hey, gotta get up to code now. Gotta update the building a little bit here or there somehow. Here's a government subsidy to maybe help along if you're a building owner and you're a little strapped.
We need some of that. Yeah.
You know, I'm not a fan of the government forcing people to do anything.
Me neither.
But I am a fan of the government.
We need some. I'm not a total socialist or a total Republican or a total anything, right?
But,
But
like,
we need some mandates because
Yes.
because the planet's being destroyed and we are running out of time. I
Yeah.
like to think that we're smart enough to turn the tide, but the tide's already so far like in one direction.
Oh,
if we
God.
don't turn it around soon,
The whole
we're
30,
fucked.
the whole 2030 thing. You heard that, right?
What? Maybe
Oh man, you know how they said that the point of no return was going to be
2030.
was going to be like 2050.
I mean, there's always a date, right?
Well,
It's
they were
either
saying
past or
they were saying like
coming.
when if the ocean temperature rises just 2 degrees
Right,
centigrade,
right.
which
It's
they
too late.
they expect it to happen, in 50 years. Well, then some of the other smaller countries were like, well, what about 1.5?
Right.
Like, we're fucked if it's 1.5, right? So they started studying it, and they were like, actually, yeah, you guys are fucked. They were like,
Armageddon isn't.
It's-
It's like it fucks the coastlines. and
the
it
coastlines.
fucks,
I mean, dude, is Brooklyn going to be underwater in... Like, I don't get it. You know
not
what I mean?
all. Brooklyn's got some high points, but
We
yeah,
got
a lot of it.
But, like, because my block could be underwater? You know what I mean? Like,
Where are you?
how underwater are we talking?
You're relatively high. I think that part of Brooklyn's gonna be
Like,
okay.
is the entire subway system going to get flooded, and we're going to just have to dig a whole new one?
Possibly.
Like,
No,
is it going to
hopefully
happen
they'll
over
build
one
something
night?
that retrofits and goes like into the tunnels, and then I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, are we going to
With
have
the-
to...
with the sticky.
Are
the
we going to
sticky
have to
MTA
build
building
levees?
is,
You know how like Katrina,
yeah.
like how Katrina destroyed
Orleans,
New
yeah.
Orleans because of the levees. The levees broke.
Yeah.
Essentially because over the course of time,
They
like those
weren't-
levees
they
weren't
weren't built right either. Yeah.
and they weren't built right, and it's like a whole thing. And like, are we gonna have to build like New York City levees to like protect New York City? I don't know. I haven't really seen anything about New York City's effect in the next 20 years.
All we have with Sandy was that big moment where we're like, wow, even New York is fucked. It's like,
Dude, isn't it amazing how there's a hurricane? There isn't a hurricane every year. That is crazy.
not every
There's
year,
like,
but when they
there's
come,
like,
they're devastating,
dude,
right?
no, the last 3 years, there's been hurricane after. There's just one after the other.
storms are getting worse.
After the other.
The storms are getting worse around the globe. Yeah.
They're getting bad.
More frequent, more powerful.
Yeah, it's weird.
And more erratic. The weather pattern. Everything's just more erratic and powerful.
Kind of like our president.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes him sound too cool.
Erratic and powerful.
He's erratic and pathetic, man.
There's so much weird shit going on.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the news too much, but I do listen to a good podcast called The Daily. Have you ever listened to that?
No, but heard of it. I need to listen to some good news.
It's
I try to do.
it's a New York Times thing. It's like a 20-minute New York Times podcast where they dive deep into a story for about like 15 or 16 minutes out of that, and then they'll give you like another like 5 minutes of just like, and this is what else you got to know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, just kill me. This is,
The news, even when it's good news, like well done news, it needs to be bad. Because we always used to talk about how the news is always shitty. And Bill Hicks has the great joke about drugs and how drugs have done some good things for us. But the truth is like if you're a journalist, you really should be talking about the bad shit. And unfortunately, most of the bad shit is just like distraction shit, really. Just whatever's going to be clickable or interesting to get more viewers and everything. But even if you're doing real journalism, you're digging into some nasty shit because the world is fucked up.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
That's another reason why I didn't go into photojournalism.
I'm glad for that reason, man. I think journalism is, if you're doing true journalism, it's one of the most needed and dangerous jobs on earth.
It's super dangerous. You want to hear this one? This is a quick little story. When we were still at Pratt. I was maybe like a senior at Pratt or a junior. It was after 9/11, obviously, because that happened sophomore year. But I met this photojournalist. He was doing a talk because his book came out and he was doing like a Barnes and Noble whatever, like, check out my book signing. And I heard about it and I knew who this photographer was and I was like, I gotta see this guy. I gotta go check this out. Plus it was all about the Middle East and Afghanistan and after 9/11, like the United States going into Afghanistan after 9/11 and just the aftermath and like the visual just destruction and craziness that happened.
Yeah.
And I actually stayed after to talk to him just to kind of be like, what was it like being there and seeing it all. His name was Tyler Hicks. Did I say it?
No.
Tyler Hicks. I forgot the name of the book because it was 18 years ago. It was like 16 years ago, but Tyler Hicks, he came out. It was an amazing book. It's really beautiful. He was just talking about how there's just so much media and there's so many photographers.
Yeah, even back then it was saturated.
Sure, like digital had started it already. So like it was, it was starting. Like once
social media.
Once digital started, just the digital camera.
Yeah.
And you could document something with a digital camera, like instead of there being 100 photographers, it became 1,000 photographers. You know what I mean? It just multiplied. And so I asked him, what was the deal? He said the hefty majority of it is extremely unsafe, and we're also being funneled around. So, for example, he was talking about how a chopper went down. And so they had to ask the CO, the commanding officer, okay, like we're media, we have a right to go see this down chopper. So they're like, okay, media, hop on this bus. All the media outlets hopped on this bus with a military escort out to a chopper that was downed, except it wasn't the chopper that was downed the day before. It was a chopper that had been downed like a year before. It's just like an old scrap of metal with no bodies. No, it was, you know what I mean? And they're just like, here's your chopper. Now take your picture and shut the fuck up. And it's like, we're trying to report the news here. And
as a journalist,
you're basically telling us that this is what happened yesterday when this clearly happened like a year ago. This is just a wreckage from a year ago. It's like saying, oh, there's a car accident outside. you don't have to see the car accident. I'll show you a broken down car in the back.
Yeah.
Instead. And you write your story about that and shut the fuck up. So I was a little taken aback, like, wow, like, so even the media is being funneled around. And there are journalists who escape that and they go rogue and they go do their own thing.
At high risk.
At high risk, man. Like people get their, you're gonna get your head chopped off if you get caught.
There are so many ways
Literally.
for different establishments, the American establishment, all kinds of, powers that be, to just sabotage you. They don't have to kill you. They can just fuck you up in 100 different ways.
Yeah.
To stop you from doing what you're doing, which is revealing the truth that hurts the establishment.
Yeah, man.
It's really dark out there, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
and it's only getting darker because there is more technology and there is the NSA and there are all these things that are incredibly powerful and they all self-perpetuate themselves. They all have their own interests in mind. And they're always gonna hold they're not just holding journalism down. They're just trying to keep it at bay, really. And they're gonna fucking kill people. They're gonna discredit them and ruin their lives.
Well, look, talk about killing journalists. How about the Saudi Arabia situation?
Mm-hmm. What happened recently?
Do you know about that?
What's going on?
Oh my God.
I mean, I know a little bit.
Did you hear about the dismembered body at the consulate?
No. What?
Oh
this
my
just
God.
happened?
Saudi Arabia. I hate telling a story like this because I'm not a journalist and I will not do the story justice, but you have got to watch the news right now.
Yeah.
And see what's going on because
I'm sure it's on Democracy Now. That's where I get my news, Democracy Now.
There's a Saudi journalist that went to the Saudi embassy in Turkey to get a wedding certificate because he was going to get married, and his future wife, was basically waiting outside for him. He's like, I'm going to go in, get my documentation for the wedding, for the marriage, and I'll come out and we'll get going. She waited for him 5 hours. He never came outside of the embassy.
Oh, I did hear about this guy. Yeah,
there you go.
And then they faked his exit too.
And they faked it
with a guy who didn't look anything like him.
Oh, they did. Oh God. I mean,
I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I get my news from Joe.
Yeah,
Rogan.
right. Listen, Joe Rogan. He's a national treasure. That guy. I love him.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But yeah, man. So you should take a look at that. I mean, that's still unfolding. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
No, I fuck, man. When any friend of mine is getting serious about journalism, I want to, or politics and journalism, I want to veer them away because politics, you just become a piece of shit, and journalism, you're putting your life and family at risk.
I feel like,
and maybe we need more journalists, less politicians.
I have a theory on politicians.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two kinds of politicians.
Mm-hmm.
There's the politician who initially was like, I
want to change.
I feel this strong, just in my heart, in my soul, I have this strong urge to just help.
Yeah.
Help.
I do think a lot of them start there.
But the thing is depending on what your background is and what your stances are, it could be it's both parties. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's people who, then the other flip side of the coin is the people who just want to take advantage.
Yeah, from the get-go, before they ever even thought about becoming a politician, they got funneled in there through the corporate system and just want to make money.
But in the end, I feel that both of those, they're opposite ends of the spectrum in reasons why they entered politics. But I feel that no matter what, all of those politicians will come into situations where they end up compromising who they are.
Both of them have to. Everybody's. That's what politics.
All of them.
That's what politics is.
The only one who I can honestly say that I guess, I mean, maybe he has, but I feel like he kind of hasn't.
Bernie
is Bernie, man.
I agree, man.
Bernie is just that guy, man. He's been doing it for 40 years.
I mean, yeah. You look back on his record. He's one of the only politicians you can look back on all the things he said. He's been saying it forever.
Yeah, it's just the same. He does not flip flop. He knows what he stands for. And the power of that movement he created,
man, it's influencing everybody right now in a good way. There's
phenomenal.
Some people rising up who are empowered by the fact that he was able to do it. Because everybody's so cynical. Everybody's like, we're done. We can't change anything, But he proved that we got pretty fucking close with him,
We cannot be cynical, especially in times like this. And
I don't mind being cynical, but we gotta be active and hopeful at the same time, A little a little realism will go a long way because otherwise you're just deluding yourself.
That's one cool thing. Have you ever like seen old videos of Bernie just like lacing into people?
Yeah, I think
Just
so.
like
yeah.
I
mean, his way of lacing is not like politicians don't answer questions. He doesn't answer questions. Instead, he just goes down his list of important shit that needs to be addressed.
When there's hearings, right? When there's
at the hearings, yeah. He's
when
great
there's
at those, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it when he like just eats up people CEOs of companies in hearings.
Yeah.
Like CEOs of companies who they're brought in for whatever reason, some shit went down, and he'll just be like, "Is it true that you said this? Did you take money? Do you believe it is right for you to get paid $14 million?
He's got the good questions, He knows how to do the game, but he's got the right questions.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen. Like at the end of the day, like he's the kind of guy who's like he'll look a CEO right in the face and say,
Yeah.
"Do you think it's right that you got a $14 million bonus and the people that work for you make less than minimum wage?"
While everyone else is sucking their dick. Yeah.
I mean, let's get real. Like he has the balls to say that, and you know what? He's amazing for it. And I wish there were more people who had the balls to say stuff like that in government, because everyone else
really
is just
empowered by
taking money
Bernie.
from those corporate
When Bernie
interests.
got knocked out, I was posting so much and watching a lot of news. I was really like with it when Bernie was about to make it, and then when he got knocked down, that's when I really stopped. I stopped posting.
So sad.
And then when it became apparent that Trump was going to win, then I just stopped watching news.
God. He's from Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
Bernie. Gotta love him. Mm-hmm. And then Vermont. Vermont's awesome.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Vermont, right?
I love Vermont, man. We got
Vermont.
Aaron and Julie Toth up there, man. God bless Vermont.
Love them.
Yeah.
So, dude. So I was curious. I mean, we went to college together, same year, from 2000 to 2004.
Yeah.
Where were you on 9/11, dude? I
was in photography class, man.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Because that was a Tuesday morning, like 9 a.m. photo class.
Yeah.
You had that. You were in the ARC building.
Yeah, it was 9 a.m.
And what happened?
earlier,
Did somebody say you bust into the classroom or something?
The head of the photo department, what was his name?
Hank.
Hank busted in and was like, the trade towers have just been attacked. Classes are suspended. Everybody needs to go home right now. You should call your families. And then he left. And I was like, what? And then I went back to the Willoughby. And, and I had a total view of it, and it was.
Yeah, I mean,
the first building had already fallen when I got back to the room.
Oh God.
Willoughby
had a really good view of it
I didn't see the second
too.
building fall. I moved away and missed it, and yeah. But my one roommate was just at the window, saw the whole thing. Yeah. Fucking insane, man.
I was in Willoughby too.
A lot of crying. A lot of people had different reactions. Some people got really drunk. You remember David Button?
Yeah, of course.
That dude he went right
was
to
amazing.
it.
He was amazing.
He offered his help, but with a camera, and then did some help, and then just snuck off.
I have a story about him. On that day.
Yeah.
I saw him when he came back.
Was he just covered in?
He was covered
dirty
in like
as fuck,
soot, right?
Yeah.
He was just. I mean, he looked like he had walked through a flower factory. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like he just was covered in like just dust and concrete.
Yeah, that dude is a hardcore badass motherfucker.
Oh, I loved him. He was amazing, and
Yeah.
he had the balls to go. And I just, like I gotta be honest, I was just so taken aback by the whole. Cause like, dude, I'm from New York, man. Like I grew up, just like, just seeing it all. Like there was a little Greek church. Did you know about this? The little St. Nicholas Greek church that was at the base of the towers? Did you know about
I
this?
probably remember it because I used to go there all the time.
It's a really old piece of property that the
Yeah.
Greek church bought. And I'm Greek as
got
fuck. I'm
annihilated
Greek as
too?
hell. So like, of course,
Was
yeah.
it
I mean,
right
it
at
got
the
it
base?
got totally leveled.
Yeah.
But I remember my freshman year, I couldn't make it back up for Greek Easter, so I was a little homesick and a little sort of bummed out, and I felt like I needed to kind of do something Greek. So I actually went there. So in Easter, like the previous Easter, like the Easter of 2001, I was there at this church. I went there for like an early ceremony, and I remember there was like a couple of like little old ladies in there, and it was me. And they looked at me and they were like talking. And then I started talking. And then the priest came up to me, and it was me, 2 old ladies, and the priest. And it was like a little Easter thing, like super early. And I was kind of sad that there was just like just a few of us in there. And the priest came up to me and he recognized me because he would get flowers from the Bronx from my father's flower shop.
Oh, really?
A lot. So like I had
It's a
seen him
small- the
before,
great community
and
is
I never really he looked familiar to me too, and I never put it all together. Like, oh yeah, this is the priest from the World Trade Center church. Like, that's so crazy. And so I saw him, and he like introduced himself, and we started talking, and it was like really nice. And then, just 6 months later, or 8 months later, whatever, 9/11 happened. So I remember thinking to myself, that's crazy. But that morning, so check this out. This is so long ago that I didn't have a cell phone, right? I had a beeper.
I don't know if I had a cell phone either. Yeah.
The night before I think it was like Steve Radji's birthday, or it was like Andy Toth's birthday. It was one of those guys. And we like got really, really shitty. We just like kind of drank a lot and like whatever we did,
Right.
And probably went to bed like around 4 a.m. and I passed out. They had an extra bed they had 3 beds in their Willoughby room, and they treated that 3rd bed like a big couch. So everybody just like lay around on it like a freaking brothel.
Miss those days, man.
It was so much fun, and I passed out on that extra bed, and then the first plane hit the next morning, and I remember waking up from the hit. It was so loud.
You heard it?
I heard it, but I thought it was my I thought it was my beeper. I remember looking down at my beeper, being like, "Is that my beeper? Like, what is that noise? What's that? Ugh!" And I just rolled over and put the pillow over my head. And then next thing I knew, and like Steve and Andy were already like out at class. I didn't have class that morning. And then Caesar, of all people, came busting through the door. Because nobody locked their door at the time. Like, nobody locked their door in that, but everyone was like in and out of each other's shit all the time. And so he comes busting in the room, and he just grabbed me, and he's like, "Get your camera." I'm like, "What happened?" He's like, "Just fucking come on." I was like, "Oh shit, okay." And I ran downstairs, grabbed my camera, and he's like, "The World Trade Center like got hit by 2 planes." Oh yeah, the second plane hit, and then woke up again. I was like, "What happened? What the fuck is going on?" And then Caesar busted in. That's what happened. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah.
And then we went up to like the 8th floor, and I stepped out, and the first building had just fallen, and the second building was still standing. And we're like standing there just watching it. Just like watching it. And I remember looking over at like Damien and some of the other architecture majors. And I remember thinking, I remember saying like, "Man, that's going to go down." No, wait, no, the first one is going to go down. And I got into an argument with Danny Ryan because he was like, those planes were, he's not even an architecture major, by the way, but like Dom Termini and like some of the other guys who were architecture majors were talking about it, and they were like, those
You're getting the conspiracy stuff right now?
They were like, I'm not going to get into that, but they were saying like those planes were made to get hit. Those buildings were made to get hit to withstand the impact of a plane. And I just looked at them and I'm like, "You guys, jet fuel burns really hot. Like I'm not an engineer. I just know that jet fuel burns hot enough to like melt steel. Like it burns super hot." And they were like, "No way, man. No way." And the shit went down.
I mean, without getting into conspiracy shit, the argument is.
Speaking of that, I do think there's a conspiracy.
Maybe it burns out one floor, right? Maybe the jet fuel burns out one floor, but it doesn't implode down on itself like a demolition.
Oh yeah, no. Let's go back. Let's rewind.
Yeah.
At the time, I wasn't saying, "Oh, there's a conspiracy."
No, of course not. But no, it's just
as the years have gone on, and I look at it, and I mean, listen, man. I'm not.
There was something else going on there. It's undeniable, man.
I think it is undeniable.
Yeah.
I don't
really want to go there right now.
I'm not going there right now. I'm not saying I'm not crying conspiracy. I'm just saying there's a lot of shady shit there.
Fucking weird.
The whole thing's super shady.
I mean, there's a huge,
beyond just like 2 planes hitting.
There's a laundry list. There's a petition signed by a laundry list of engineers and architects around the globe, man.
Really?
Who all agree? Yeah, like reputable people, men and women I'm sure LGBTQIA and all that stuff,
Right.
who all agree. It's like that was not possible according to the logic of the story.
Oof.
So it's really
That just reinforces it, man.
fucking crazy, man.
It just reinforces it. Have you ever seen that Zeitgeist video?
Yeah.
I
mean that touches on everything.
Oh my god!
But there's like documentaries on each element, you know?
If you like the X-Files and the Zeitgeist video,
I do.
Oh man, you're my people.
Right. Cheers, man.
Oh my god.
To the X-Files and
But you know what?
Zeitgeist
My cousin, who's
Conspiracies are everywhere, by the way. Like everything is a conspiracy. Conspiracy
yeah.
is just more than one person doing something, and everybody's secretive. Corporations are all secretive. Individuals who are just inspired to try to make their own company successful are secretive
Oh, yeah.
to remain competitive. It's just a natural human tactic to survive.
people conspiring.
And thrive.
Oh man, I'll say this though. My cousin. I'm gonna give a shout out to George.
Word.
He's in Greece. He's a tattoo artist. He's like.
Yeah, I gotta meet George, man. I'm trying to become a tattoo artist.
You've seen his shit though?
We talked about him, I think. Yeah.
He's this like super epic tattoo artist out in Athens. He's like unbelievable. But he's also like whenever I get like drunk with that kid, you know, for like the last 30 years, it's like, oh man, let's get into the nitty-gritty of conspiracy and all that stuff. And he's the one who showed me the Zeitgeist video early on and like a million other things. But like, you know what he believes in right now that just makes me like cringe?
What? 9/11 related?
No. Just like the ultimate conspiracy.
MK Ultra. What's the ultimate conspiracy? I don't know.
Flat Earth, dude.
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth. He's all of a sudden a flat earther, and I'm like, oh, you just fucking ruined it all.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I can't fuck with flat earthers, man. I can't do it.
It's so funny, man. How in this
I
day
can't
and
do
age,
it.
with all the stuff we have and all the knowledge we have, how people can still just go back to believing wacky things, man.
I just, come on, man. Flat Earth, like you're doing that. Like, are we really doing this right now? The flat Earth thing.
I'm sorry, you're out. You're throwing your cousin under the bus right now.
I will fucking. I will.
I'm sure if I know
I will
you,
put him through a meat grinder.
Right. Your
Fuck the
cousin
bus,
probably
dude.
Gives you a lot of shit too, right?
Dude,
He's probably
come on,
some
man.
ridiculously tough Greek dude from Long Island, hanging out in the Hamptons.
He's just covered in tattoos. He's got like face tattoos and shit. He's like huge.
Shit.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, come on, man. He's like, prove me wrong. I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna go into it, you know.
The only way to do it, like, how do you do it? You gotta like get a spaceship. You gotta become friends with Elon Musk, or just hope that becomes consumer grade.
Let's not even go into how do you prove it, because there's all these different ways you can prove it. But like, really, like, are we proving it? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not a fucking scientist.
Until you and him go on a spaceship and fly off the planet, he'll maybe never believe it. And even then, maybe he'll be like, "This spaceship wasn't a spaceship. It was one of those like Disney rides. We were on a Disney ride the whole time."
It was Space Mountain, man. Like, come on, it was just the space.
Everything is a simulation in a different way than Elon Musk likes to pretend.
God.
It's like
whole
when
thing.
we get on rocket ships
And Caesar, don't get me started on Caesar with the whole simulation thing. Now he's like, we're in a simulation.
It's hard. Man. It's hard not to once your mind goes there. It's hard not to admit it.
It's like,
it's very likely.
Oh, it's like, oh, I get it. But you know what? Here's my rebuttal to that is like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Because fuck you. Like, what about the people who get fucking leukemia at 2 years old?
And not just
what
that,
about,
just the fact that everything in space is so spread apart, man. Like, it's like I don't.
Why do I get to live my life?
The simulation thing, really.
Why do I get to live my life?
Yeah.
And like that little leukemia baby doesn't get to live his life. This is all a simulation.
I think everything.
Really, is he just like a fucked up program? Didn't work out for that program. It was like a bad code. Come on, dude, give me a break.
Well, like, simulation gets into reincarnation. Maybe I don't know, man. It's a word. We're over an hour already at this point, and I feel like this is like a series unto itself. You know, it's a podcast unto itself talking about the simulation and reincarnation and fucking philosophy. Yeah, well, I mean, things like that.
We could dick around talking about that for like the rest of
hypothetical shit.
We do. Everybody talks about this shit all day long.
Everybody, geniuses and dumbasses across the globe talking about this shit all day.
And you know what's amazing about it is that like no matter how fucking smart you are, or no matter how stupid you are, it doesn't matter.
We're on the same level when it comes to
that
we
are.
Shit,
we are because we can only. I mean, science
can't
only,
prove it.
It can only tell us so much, and we can't prove it. And and you know, then you start talking about God, and you start talking about just what we are, who we are, and
I don't mind talking about it.
It gets
actually,
very existential, and
Yeah.
I do enjoy talking about it,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Yeah.
I do enjoy.
It feels a little repetitive after you've had like 5 of those conversations, and if you get past
Well,
20, it's like,
here's the thing.
This doesn't go. I know where this goes, and then we burn out, and we spent the whole night talking about this. We didn't get to know anything. I didn't learn more about you. You know,
Right,
damn it.
right.
Like, what have you been up to, man?
You know, fuck what I've been up to. Like, you know what I've been up to? Trying to survive. That's what I've been up to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's it like these days, man?
It's hard, dude. Business is tricky, dude. Like,
And we're doing business. We started as artists, but we're doing business now, man.
yeah, I mean, we're busy. You know, like
So the trick is like, how do you stay creative and an artist and do business at the same time?
I was thinking about this the other day, and the thing is like, somebody asked me if like, oh, do I get like nervous when when I'm on set? Like, do I get nervous if I'm like on set and I have like, you know, a $50,000 camera in my hands, and like, you know, production costs like, you know, $10,000 a day, and I have this person in front of the camera, and you know, like we've got like producers and fucking clients,
You're
and
cool under
there's
pressure,
like
man.
there's like 30 people on set, all like waiting to get the shot. Like, am I nervous? No, of course, definitely not. I'm not nervous at all. I'm actually really enjoying the moment. It's really fun. I truly, truly enjoy it.
You know your shit technically. You're a charismatic individual.
But hold on, dude. Fuck charisma. Fuck all that. It's just about enjoying the moment, right?
You're good at that.
What
To life.
what makes me nervous and what gives me stress
Yeah.
is not those moments. It's like if I look at my calendar and I have no jobs booked, and I'm like, damn, dude, I gotta pay my bills, and you know,
For me, it's
how am I
both.
gonna do that?
If I have a packed calendar, I'm stressed as fuck. But if I have an
Sure.
empty calendar, I'm stressed. And for me, it's one of the. I never have like just a good. It's never spread out. It's always like, and I almost moved to LA a couple weeks ago, man.
Really?
I'm
Why?
just-
Why would you do that to yourself?
I had to move, and I was
Gross.
dirt broke, man, and I couldn't find work here. And I have work in LA, and I have work in San Diego, and I was ready to go. I was starting to pack up. I was like fucking ready to go, man.
Whoa.
I was done. I was like, I can't do.
What
New York.
work
I
do
can't
you
do
have
it
in
here.
LA? What's waiting?
I
for
don't
you
know.
in
I
LA?
don't know if it's cool if I talk about it, but there, man. Movie trailers.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man. That's
Yo, my mom sent me a really long email.
that's a very real thing.
My mom sent me a really long email telling me why I should do it. But I don't know, man. I've had a streak of luck in the last month, and it's
Good.
been awesome. Yeah.
I love luck.
It's
Luck
like,
is good.
It's beyond luck at this point. Now I'm
Really?
I'm seriously back in the money again. Yeah.
All right.
I'm at good art jobs.
Ah.
Carving pumpkins right now for a job. That's sick.
Carving pumpkins.
Shout out Maniac Pumpkins, man. They're gonna come on this podcast and talk to me. But
Really?
But fucking, I sold an art piece for $3,000, man.
Congratulations.
I did a mural.
Cheers.
It's crazy, man. It's like
You-
broke, no job,
You
no
paid
work.
you paid your New York expenses for about a week.
It's month. It's month to month. Whether you're like actually month to month with the literal money in your bank account or not, the work is month to month. Everything is kind of month to month. And like,
Dude, this city
even if you
is
have a ton of money, you could go broke for some crazy reason.
this city is so fucked.
Yeah.
In terms of it's just so expensive,
If
dude.
you have money, there's people out there that are gonna take it from you.
It's amazing, man.
They're gonna people smell it like pigs smell truffles, man. It's like
man.
they're gonna get your money.
Listen, when in this town, if you put it out there that you have money and you're willing and you're looking to put it somewhere, it's like sharks smelling the blood in the water.
That's a better analogy,
They
really.
just
because
they just
it's
start
aggressive,
circling,
man. It hurts.
and they get aggressive,
They
dude.
dig in and they bleed you out. You get bit. Maybe you don't even realize you got bit, and they're just bleeding you out. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now.
The real
I
estate.
have no actual.
Listen, in New York
analogy
City,
there.
the real estate situation is so weird. It's so out of control, and it's so aggressive.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is.
it's not something that I'm used to in my line of work and my business, because I spend my time thinking about other things and not about like money. Money is like a byproduct of creativity. You know,
It's a necessary evil.
It's one of those things that's like, okay, like, but like, you know what's funny is like, me and Julian and I will be like sort of thinking about, hey man, we need to make some money. Like, what are we gonna do? And it's like a lot of times instead of like, oh well, like let's try and like pitch this thing to this person or whatever and try and get their money. It's more like, let's do this creative thing on our own and then just show it.
We're similar that way.
And that'll sort of spark a conversation and then attract. And that's what that is how, if you're like, the only advice I could give to like a young artist out there maybe listening to this or whatever the fuck is like, if you want people to be into your work, don't do work that you think other people will like. Just do your shit for you and just keep doing it. Do a lot of it. Do so much of it that it's like absurd and ridiculous. Just keep fucking doing it until people notice it, and people that will like it will start noticing it and will start fostering that talent and those ideas and will continue to come back to you. And that's just the way it works.
The intuition advice is the best advice. It's like you have to like, it's not logical. You have to look and you have to think about it.
I know it is not logical. It's totally illogical.
But in the end, you're going to make illogical decisions and bad choices, and your mom's not going to like it. Your dad's not going to like it. People who love you are not going to like it.
Oh, it's very fuck you, mom and dad. I'm going to be an artist.
I'm
going to move to New York City.
It's not even about the fuck you.
Do drugs.
It's defiant. You have to defy all logic, and you have to defy all the people in your life who are throwing logic your way, and it's awkward. I'm in this position. I'm always in this position. I'm sure you are too. Like, all my best friends constantly give me advice that's directly opposing what I think I need to do. And what I think I need to do, and then they're like, why? And they want the reasons. Make a list of the pros and cons. And I'm like, well, obviously it's more logical to do what you're suggesting. But if I do that, I'm giving up, really. Honestly, half the time, if I do what everybody is telling me to do, I'm literally giving up, because I do have a vision. I have these ideas. I have these goals, whatever they may be, and I'm pursuing them. And you two are definitely doing that, man.
Thanks, man. We're definitely trying.
What was state of the state? That was 3 or 4 for your personal film collaborations. Just you two.
The two of us have done. This was the 3rd film we've worked on together.
That was the 3rd, right?
Yeah, the first one was At Home. No, it was End After All.
Right.
Which Julian wrote after his mother passed away.
Right.
Which I
semi-autobiographical.
Which was semi-autobiographical. I didn't DP that. We hired a DP. He asked me to DP that. He was like, "Do you want to DP this?" And
no, but you told me it's smart because you learned a shit ton watching a professional DP.
I just didn't. I wasn't at the time. This was like 5 years ago. I didn't know what it was like to be on set.
I remember I knew way more than you did when you were going into that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And you were talking to me and lecturing me because you do that. But now you know way more than I did.
Oh well. You know what's funny is like we made that movie, and then I really learned a lot. Sort of. I got a co-director credit on that film.
Yeah.
Even though, to be perfectly frank, I spent more time being more like a first AC on that movie. Really, like just following the DP.
AD, right?
I'm sorry. No.
AC?
Not AD. Like an AC, like an assistant camera. Like I was just working with the DP. And really soaking it in. And he's a really good DP.
But you're also mitigating between like investors and everybody, right? Like you're doing that too.
Well, I mean, when you're on set, you're just, we also like executive produced it with Shooting Films with Jack Bryan and Laura Brooks Du Bois, who also, Jack Bryan just did an awesome movie. You should see it. It's called Active Measures.
I'll check it out.
Dude, it's very like anti-Trump. Like, here's the info. Here's the real
documentary.
Yeah, pretty sick. Check it out. Anybody listening to this, see Active Measures, done by Jack Bryan.
Check it out.
It's fucking nuts. It's like a total mind fuck. Like, you go in there and it just starts like going into the Trump history.
Yeah.
And it just starts pumping you full of information, and it keeps pumping you for an hour and a half until you're basically Trump fucked. Like you feel like you just totally got face fucked by Trump by the end of it. So
isn't it weird how like you kind of don't want that,
but you want it but you don't want it, but you need it. You need it though, because I walked out of there like, wow, I am unhappy right now. / I'm really happy I saw that. But anyway, so we made that movie, and then And then to follow that up, we did another movie where Julian and his nephew, Jordan, they co-wrote it. And Jordan had a bad experience where he went to Chicago to meet a girl, to like see this girl that he like, thought he was gonna hook up with or whatever. And it totally blew up in his face. And so we've all kind of experienced that.
I haven't seen that one, man. I got to see that one.
Nolan loves it. He thinks it's.
Oh, Nolan loved it?
I mean, he hasn't seen State of State, but he thought it was amazing.
Oh, wow. That's really nice of Nolan. The thing is, it didn't. At Home with Mystic didn't get a lot of love, I think, because it just. At the end of the day, like, it was about a character who. He's not a lovable character. Like, he's just not. Like, he's a guy who, like. He's got a girl, but he's getting phone calls from his ex-girl who moved away, and she's like, come see me, whatever, and he just fucking goes, thinking like, oh, maybe something will happen, maybe, who knows, and he goes, and it doesn't work out, and it's all fucked up, and then he's got to go back, and it's rough, and it's like, wow, what a bad decision.
But the other one,
and then the new movie is State of the State.
But End After All, or At Home with Mystic. Oh, At Home with Mystic, that's what that's about.
Yeah, that's what that was about. But it wasn't
I gotta see it, man.
It's a good little movie. It's only like 15 minutes long.
I like anti-heroes and idiosyncratic characters.
Some
and
people
weird
loved
storylines. I'm sure I'll love it.
It's not a very typical short film like clap at the end of it. Like, you're not clapping at the end of that. You're like, oh man, fuck. This guy's kind of an asshole.
I prefer that, man. Yeah. Honestly, I don't like coming out of things feeling exactly the way I'm supposed to feel. I want to feel a little puzzled.
And that's why I like making movies with Julian, man, because he agrees with that kind of, and so do I. Like, it's just there's a way to make movies that's like it's very typical, like storytelling, and then you can maybe turn it on its ear a little bit and change it up a little bit. And I think that's what these movies do. And State of the State also, I think, the newest film, which is currently being submitted to festivals. We just had a screening.
Should we not spoil anything in it?
Let's not spoil it. Because we'll have a link available for people to see it at some point. But
we're kind of. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but I'm guessing the festival. What do you call it? It's going to take a while for this film to actually be totally public. So I'm sure this is going to come out before that. So it'll be a nice little bump. We just had the friends and family screening in New York about less than a week ago, and then in a week or two, we're having the LA friends and family screening. Yeah, I saw Mamet's daughter walking out on my way in, man. Oh, Zasha. Yeah, Zasha is an executive producer on that film. Yeah, Zasha Mamet. How'd you meet her? Because I know you shot her wedding. Well, it's really funny because. So here's the whole breakdown. Mm-hmm. So when me and Julian made At Home with Mystic, we were really looking for a good male lead. Mm-hmm. And through one of our contacts, we managed to land Josh Hellman. And Josh Hellman is this Australian bloke. He's amazing. He's been in a bunch of movies, including some of the X-Men movies, and he's just super talented, super nice guy. He's just like one of my favorite people in the whole world. Cool dude. He showed up. We had a quick meeting with him. We took one look at him. He showed up wearing a Carhartt jacket and just take me back. I missed something. You were just doing an audition. We were doing it. Well, he showed up. Well, it wasn't like an audition because he was already so established that it was he's an industry dude. He's an industry guy, man. He doesn't need to do an audition, but we'd love to just meet him. Yeah. And maybe just have a conversation with him about the script. And he felt the same way. He was like, cool. So, we met up with him at, we were Soho House or some shit. And he came over and he sat down and he was wearing literally exactly what the character was going to be wearing in the movie. He did that on purpose or no? That's just the way he is. And we just looked at each other oh, this guy's fucking perfect. And he was so great. He did a great job. What's the name of the movie? Kate Can't Swim? No. Well, that was At Home with Mystic. Oh, he was At Home with Mystic. Right. And I gotta see that movie, man. How is that online? That's online. So, can we throw a link up in the description? We can. Just give me 1 second. So, basically, meeting Josh through that project. Josh has great ambitions to also. He's a great storyteller, and he's writing scripts, and he's kind of doing his own thing too. So, he hit me up about a year later, I think,
about this script that he was working on with his girlfriend called Kate Can't Swim, and so they sent that to me to potentially DP it. And I read it,
which
and
I fucking love. I love that movie, man.
Oh,
I told
you
you
love-
that, and
oh.
I gotta like keep telling you because maybe you don't
Thank
believe
you.
me.
It's
That's
on-
like exactly the movie, the kind of movie I want to make. I could make if I could make 20 of those, I'd be super happy. I don't
dude.
need to make like super expensive blockbuster movies.
Yeah,
I
you
want to
don't-
make movies that like have real kind of people in them doing real.
You don't
kind
need a lot of money
human
to,
shit.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of money to tell a good story, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, all you need is a typewriter. All you need is a piece of paper and a pencil to write down the story.
Yeah.
And
They wrote a great
You
script.
know-
They had and the approach. I know it wasn't like a super
well,
scripted script type approach.
Yeah, it's
I
sort of-
like
it's
the whole
interesting.
approach to that film, man. Can you tell us about that?
yeah, I can go into that real quick. What's funny is, so as a DP, when I get a script, I read through it, and I'm like, I read through it once, and I think to myself, like, you know, how do I feel? What worked, what didn't work? And then I read it again. And when I read it again, I start thinking about how it's going to look, like the shots. Okay, like, how are we really establishing this moment? How are we sort of moving from one to the next? What's the visual sort of dynamic happening here? How are we introducing these characters? What's the significance and relevance regarding how we're doing it versus like how it ends up later? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot. There's so many ways. It's an endless array of different ways to do all this stuff and to how to tell the story. Like just introducing a character visually
Yeah.
can affect the rest of the film and like how you feel about this character. So, you know, I called Josh afterwards after I sort of looked at it a couple times and I was like, hey man, so like what's the deal? Because this script feels like a little funky, feels a little weird. And he was like, listen, I really want to like, we're still working on the script, whatever. We have like a lot more to do to it. But one major part of the way I want to make this film is I want to use improv on top of the script. So they did a lot of rehearsal. They spent like 6 months rehearsing a lot of these scenes and not doing it the same way twice. Mm-hmm. Just hitting the key points and then just like going with it. So I knew going into it as the DP, like, okay, well, if they're not going to be reciting the same exact lines over and over again the same exact way, we really need to have two camera coverage basically on any back and forth dialogue that like examines characters and moves the story forward. It needs to really be really well done and captured from multiple angles. Like even if
You're literally capturing a moments.
Right.
You're not like going back and recreating.
right,
Sculpting.
it
You're
was like it
fucking
felt
capturing the actors in the
it
moment.
almost felt like just like being a cameraman like on the stage of a play.
That's what I was gonna say. I think that style, that approach, not style, that approach, because style, it's a style too.
Sure.
But if you're thinking about style, you're going at it the wrong way. That approach to filmmaking is the closest way to bringing theater to film.
I think so.
It bridges theater to film.
I think so.
That's what's so exciting about it. Because,
think that-
because the actors are doing some real, genuine, authentic shit.
Yeah, there was definitely times where I knew like right in the middle of a scene, like they're not going to do this again.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have to really anticipate, as the camera operator, I have to really anticipate where they're going.
Right.
Because we didn't block that out. Like I'll look at Celeste, like the main character, and like knowing her after, you know, the amount of time that I've known her, like I can ultimately
Predict where she's moving.
predict where she's going to move,
She's going
even
left.
though we didn't block that
She's
out.
going right.
You know, and like, yeah, there were definitely a lot of
You'd be like
scenes.
on a headset talking to another cameraman. Like, she's going left. Go left.
We didn't have budget for headsets, buddy. But you know what? I had also a really talented.
Yeah, who was the other camera dude?
I had a second camera operator.
Girl.
His name is Charlie Cole. He recently just finished his stint at AFI to become like an official DP.
Right. He's going on the path, man.
So yeah, he's doing his thing. He's very talented. He's very
Nice.
good. He's one of the sweetest people
It's a smart
ever.
approach for films like that. He was a student at the time.
Yeah, he had just graduated from Pratt,
Nice.
and I met him through our old intern, whatever. So like, but like
Cool, man.
He was and he AC'd me on At Home with Mystic, so I brought him on.
You already
Kate
had
Can't
the,
Swim.
the rapport going on.
Yeah, we had a very good relationship from that film.
Yeah.
So I like to, if you work on a film with me and it works out great, then chances are I'm gonna try and bring you in on the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was great, and that worked out well. And
I think
Kate Can't Swim. It did really well, man. I was really happy about it. It got into like, I don't know, 7 or 8 festivals. It won like 5 or 6 awards. It got like second place at like Slam Dance, which was pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congrats.
That was fun.
I love it, man. I love it.
And
I really, really fucking do.
I'd never been to the Sundance. I had never been to Park City before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but Sundance
I was there
and
with
Slam
Will
Dance.
one year, man. I was there with Will.
Dude.
He was in Slam Dance.
It's so funny how it's like
One is super small.
Yeah, Slam
and
Dance.
There's a fucking giant. It's the entire fucking city.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was new to the whole thing, so I didn't know what the deal was. And I was like, man, Slam Dance is kind of janky, but like, it's still
awesome.
It's still pretty
so
fucking
good.
cool.
Everything I saw there was amazing, man. It was such high quality.
I saw some really good stuff.
What annoyed me was
for
the Slam Dance staff had this like, we're the fucking stepbrother. We're like the ones who were rejected and we suck. They were like,
they're like the antithesis of Sundance.
They were thriving on that, but whether like the individuals that started like that are or aren't, and I don't care whether they feel like that or not.
Yeah.
The fact is like they're getting a bunch of really high quality films coming in.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting pissed off at them, to be honest with you, man. I was like, you guys have like A-list fucking filmmakers submitting films, and they're here, and you're doing this whole like we're the stepbrother, the stepsister.
You know why they feel that way?
The bastard brother.
I'll tell
you
what,
are, but these filmmakers aren't. You know.
I'll tell you why they feel that way, man. Because Sundance, when I believe Robert Redford started it. You know, like when he started it, like Sundance was an opportunity for filmmakers to submit their films.
It was super indie at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, man, it was like an opportunity. Like if you made a movie, if you live in Bumblefuck, Wisconsin, and you made a film about life there, and it's like really good, it's a place for you to like exhibit your work.
But he's Robert Redford, and it blew up, and now it's like
it blew up, and
it's almost more important than the Oscars, really, in a way, for most filmmakers.
Well, I mean,
or at least that nobody who's like a wannabe filmmaker is looking at the Oscars. You're looking at Sundance first.
But the thing is like
a stepping stone or a fucking gate that you have to go through.
Not to talk shit on Sundance or whatever, because like I'm not like that entrenched in the industry to be like some word like the final word on it or anything. But just from what I can gather, it just feels like, listen, if you're Jonah Hill and you're directing your first you had your first directorial debut.
Celebrity trumps everything.
Exactly,
the business
dude.
is built on celebrity.
It's built on celebrity and
good
Sundance
writing, but the writing
caters
isn't as pretty. It's not as glorious.
If you have a contact to Sundance, if that's happening for you, then you're gonna get it, and it's gonna work. And you know what? Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But like, you can't. If you're like new to the whole film industry and you're trying to submit your films, and you made some little janky short film and you got into Sundance, holy shit!
It's possible.
It's 100% possible. But
that's
like,
what's exciting about being alive,
shit!
Right?
Wow, that's incredible. Because really, Sundance is, from what I gather and from what I've seen, it's really, it's reserved for the connected people.
Yeah, it's pretty connected, man.
To be, a platform for, here's a little project I worked on, / I'm already a multimillionaire actor and I'm a director now.
And it's like there's so much to it. Will got into Sundance, man. But that doesn't mean anything. It's like you have to get in it. There's like the main channels, and then there's like thousands of side channels.
Yes.
And you could get put in that theater that's like so far out of town that nobody's going to show up.
Well,
nobody cares because there's the center of it up the hill.
Yeah.
But then there's like theaters that are like so far away on another mountain.
A lot of these big festivals, there's like there's the films that are in contention.
Yeah.
And films that are just being screened.
Right. There's that too. Yeah. That might have been. I don't know if he got in.
So I don't know where Will was at, but like. And I'm not even sure what Sundance's status is with that, but I know for sure, like Cannes, for example.
Yeah.
They have that. Like,
right.
Like they're just like, like these films got in, and
it's
they're in contention for awards. These films, we're gonna screen them, but they're not being considered for awards.
It's a mirror to corporations.
It's weird to me. It's weird. Like, I don't get it.
Corporations can devastate the planet while at the same time doing more good for the planet than you or I could ever do in our wildest dreams.
Yeah,
and that's what these film festivals can do. They can have like these incredibly intense competitions that are so like it's nepotism if you really boil it down, and it makes sense. Why wouldn't it be? That's human relationships. But they also do good. They do good for everybody. You could be screening at some random, at that same theater I was talking about on a mountain that's far away that maybe no one's going to, but maybe somebody shows up who saves your life. And that's why you go to festivals, because you're just looking for connections.
Dude,
really.
when I was there, I spent the whole time. I mean, when I wasn't like watching movies.
Yeah.
I was just trying to like network and just kind of meet people.
That's totally, yeah.
But I couldn't. But
it's
because
so wild, it's fun, right? But it's weird.
But dude, hold on, because I wasn't in Sundance.
Yeah.
And I wasn't connected to Sundance. I couldn't.
You're not allowed into 90% of the shit going on, man.
Dude, 99%.
Dude,
I couldn't get in.
I went into one Sundance party when I was there. You're not allowed into anything.
You're not in, but you have to meet people. So like. Dude, I would like bum cigarettes out to people on the street.
That's
and
smart.
Strike up conversation.
Mom and Dad, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'm probably gonna buy packs at Sundance in the future.
I mean, at the time I was smoking a little bit and I was drinking a lot. So obviously, if I'm drinking, I was smoking.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't like, hey man, you want a cigarette? Like, just be hanging out or whatever.
No, it's a cool game, man.
And then it's just a conversation. And, like, it definitely got me in. Like, actually, when I was there, Will had a movie in Sundance. It
was the same year, yeah.
Wait a minute. You were there that same year?
I was there when he was in Slam Dance. But you were there. You were there when he was in Sundance.
I was in there, like, when he was in Sundance.
You ran into Will?
Yeah, he was texting me. Did he
smuggle you into anything?
He smuggled me into a couple of parties.
Man.
He was super nice about that.
Will's a great dude, man.
Will is awesome. Dude,
yeah.
Will's the man. He's super fucking awesome in every way.
Yeah.
But like he got me into a few parties, and like I managed to get into a few parties.
Hold on, Will Caballero.
Will Caballero, director.
We gotta shout him out.
Hispanic extraordinaire.
Puerto Rican filmmaker
Puerto
with
Rican,
a lot of pride and fucking heart, and
the Puerto Rican genius.
He's got Grandpa Knows Best on HBO. He's gonna come on and he'll have his own episode. We don't need to talk about him anymore.
HBO Latino.
Enough of Will. Back to Tommy. What the hell were you talking about? He smuggled you into a fucking
smuggled me in. He smuggled me in. He put me in like a little like a balloon, and he shoved me up his ass, and then he smuggled me into these parties. And then I just jumped out, and I was like, let's do this.
Ace Ventura style? Ace Ventura 2? Squeezing out the rhino's ass?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, man. I mean, wow. Like, looking back at it, it all went by so fast.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
It's a blur.
It snowed more that weekend than it had snowed in like 20 years in Park City.
Which made it fucking difficult, huh?
Super difficult, dude.
It was so hilly and so slippery.
It was so crazy. Like, everything was...
It's like San Francisco's
It was in disarray.
But so is...
It was the crazy snow. And we shredded a little bit. We fucking hit the hills. Yeah, dude. We've been back a couple times, too.
Dude, I was out there, and one of my best friends from fucking back home, he was... I don't know if he was living out there. He was there for whatever reason. He might have been living out there. And we ended up meeting up with this Hispanic dude who was super drunk. He was like a surfer, bro. He talked like this, but he was totally Hispanic.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, come on, guys. And he brought us like on this crazy walk out. I don't even know where we walked to. And we ended up getting super high with this fucking Hispanic dude out in the middle of fucking nowhere out there.
Oh, I get creeped out. I'd be like, what's this guy want from us?
I mean, it was just, he had roommates and they were all smoking. We were just smoking. It was like, they were just having they were having like a pretty typical night, I feel like, for them.
Yeah.
And we were just reconnecting, and we fucking found ourselves in this random place there. I was like, I should be networking. But I was like, I gotta get away.
Hey, Ian, do you smoke a lot of weed?
I went through a phase, not so much right now. Yeah.
When was your phase though?
The last 2 years.
So in your mid-30s, you started becoming a pothead.
Yeah.
But then you kind of you throttled it back.
I started smoking in college. And I never smoked a lot. I'm a lightweight, and I stay up late. I have a lot of like reverse reactions. Like I stay up. I'm like hyperactive. It's like I did coke, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Even indica, man. Indica, sativa, definitely. Indica, I'm pretty hyper. Can't sleep. Don't want to eat. Like I need to get a meal ready. I'm smart about it now. I'm like, I know I'm
What?
not hungry, but I need to eat this.
You get the
because
anti-munchies?
And I'm reverse munchies.
Super weird.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
You're an enigma wrapped in a riddle. That's what you are.
I
don't get it.
I want to say
I don't
yes,
understand.
but it's not true because I met other
You're
people
out of your
like me,
fucking
man.
mind, bro.
There's other people like me out there.
I can't believe
it's just
it.
there's people who react like that, and people who don't. But I love it. But it's not good for me. I can't do it. It fucks up my creativity. It fucks up my productivity. My intelligence is gone.
I think somebody just came in.
Yeah, it's the cops. Get down.
Yo, dude, hide the weed. Hide the
Hide
stash.
the paraphernalia. But yeah, man. Are you into it anymore? Or are you done?
I'm not like a regular like.
I think I don't. For me, it doesn't work out. It fucks up
I'm a very like hangout like whatever, dude.
Yeah.
If that's happening, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, if there's like an edible situation, maybe I'll like eat. You know, I'll eat the bottom half of a gummy bear. You know what I mean?
My problem
like,
is like actually I should be hanging out with filmmakers and artists, but I hang out with more musicians than anything else.
Dude,
everybody's smoking all the time, man.
Forget it, man.
It's endless.
Musicians.
I've been at some listening parties where it's just like there's literally like every person has a joint and it's a rotation of joints going around.
You know,
it's like nobody.
Oh my God.
Nobody's not smoking. Smoking at all times.
Dude, I gotta tell you, like, and like rappers too. Those guys, like, oh man.
Specifically rappers. Is
so
what
you've
I'm
worked with
about.
a few rappers.
A few.
I've worked with a few
with a ton
rappers.
Right yeah.
Want to hear a funny story about Jadakiss?
Yeah.
So,
No, we're at 1:39. We're done.
We're done.
No, I'm kidding, man. Definitely tell me a funny
quick
story,
Jadakiss story.
No,
Dude,
don't even make it quick. Make it.
Do you know who Jadakiss is?
No.
Dude, you don't know who Jadakiss is?
I don't.
Jadakiss is one of the biggest rappers of all time.
I'm like pretty dumb when it comes to this shit.
All right.
I know my community and I know
right.
Kanye and
So,
fucking.
dude,
I love Frank Ocean and fucking Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, dude. All right, you're
Childish Gambino.
I don't understand.
I know some
we
shit.
photographed
I know some
Donald
shit.
Glover recently, actually. It's
No
pretty
shit,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, dude.
Now you got Nas. You got Donald
We
Glover.
photographed Nas, Donald Glover. I photographed Method Man back in the day
God
for
damn
like
it,
Mass
Tommy.
Appeal. But like, dude, shooting Jadakiss was interesting.
So I look like an asshole on my own podcast. I don't know who Jadakiss is, but I will now.
You should look him up. I guarantee you've heard his music.
This is good for me.
And
I
back
learn from
oh
my
man,
guests.
and it's just some of his shit back in the day. He's just one of like the classic. Like he's got like a grimy voice. But he's from Yonkers, and I'm from Yonkers.
Yeah.
So like
Same age, similar age, or
he's older than me for sure. But like when I was in high school, he was like a young up and coming rapper, just crushing it, super big. And like it was around the same time as DMX, so it was like Jadakiss and the Locks and like DMX and like the whole
I have a
thing.
picture with DMX in an airport.
In an airport?
Yeah, sorry.
I love you.
distracted
That's
from the
amazing.
story, man. Yeah.
Was he like?
He wasn't happy about it.
Did he bite you?
My sister, I was
He's like,
I was
"Arr,
drawing
my
in an
dog's at
airport. My sister was like, "Yo, DMX is over there." And
You know his
I
name
don't
is
believe
Earl.
you. And we
His
went-
name is Earl, by the way. He lived up in Mount Kisco for a long time. I knew some kids used to play pool with him. They used to
Yeah.
play pool for money with that guy.
No shit.
He's like
He's
an
sharp.
obsessive, like pool hall, like junkie. He
I mean,
loves
you
it.
think about his life, man. It's like it's probably better than what was the movie he was in? It's better.
Belly.
It's crazier
Belly.
than that. You know?
I
It's
love
like,
Belly.
His life is.
I
is
love
definitely crazier
Belly.
Than that. They should make movies.
Oh
there should
my
be
God.
the DMX series, just like chronicling his life.
He's just amazing. DMX is amazing. Nas was also in Belly.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Hype Williams directed it.
Right.
He did all those kick-ass music videos way back in the day.
Yeah,
he essentially
He's a
pioneered.
monolith in music videos.
Yeah, he pioneered like that slow motion, highly cinematic, like cross-processed, like weird sort of like music video, man.
I don't know if he pioneered it, but he brought it to music videos. Yeah.
He didn't pioneer that style
he
in general.
uses everything. He uses everything that's popular and makes it art.
Is
you
he
know?
still making music videos?
I haven't followed. I'm so out of the loop with
fucking
everything. I don't have
I mean,
time
it's Hype
for
Williams,
anything
like, who
right
knows?
now, man.
Hold on,
it's been
Jade-
like
dude,
a solid
Jadakiss.
5 years since I've had time for anything.
We were talking about weed and Jadakiss, okay?
Yeah,
Weed,
yeah.
first of all. So I get hired by these two guys launching a t-shirt company. This is like years ago. I mean, this is like 8 years ago, okay? And these two guys...
UNA was already a thing.
No, we weren't. This is me solo. This is
Okay.
like before I partnered with Julian.
All right.
So there's like these two guys, super nice guys. I shot this thing for them, and like they were like they had this t-shirt company. One was like an artist, the other one was like a business guy, and like they joined forces. And, like we're gonna do this like artistic t-shirt company, and we have like a hip hop flavor, and we're gonna get our shirts on like big artists and stuff. And I was like, this is great, you know, like, good luck. This is awesome. I hope, you know, I wish you guys the best. I did a shoot for them just to like show like the first line of it, and it came out nice. And then they called me up and they were like, hey man, do you want to come and shoot this next thing we want to do with Jadakiss? And I was like, yeah, obviously, he's fucking Jadakiss. He's epic. He's like a living legend already, man. Like, I mean, in the East Coast hip hop, he's like at the top of the game, like one of the top 10. So they were like, great, like, awesome, you're in. I'm like, great, cool. So what's the deal? And they were like, all right, well, he's gonna show up. We're gonna shoot at like this like mansion in like Westchester. I'm like, okay. And these fucking kids, man, like, they were hustlers. Like, they were working at like Subway, like slinging sandwiches, like just saving enough money to like make shirts and like pay people like Jadakiss to show up to like promote the shirts. You know what I mean? So I get there with my assistant and we're setting up, and I kind of look at the guys. I'm like, so what time is Jada supposed to be here? And they were like, he was supposed to be here like right now. So he's running a little late. We're a little nervous. And I'm like, I'm sure he'll show up. Kind of like in my back of my mind, kind of like, oh man, I don't know if this dude's going to show up, you know? And they're just like waiting around. And I'm like, so what's the deal? Like, how many looks are we going to do with him? How long do we have him for? Is he going to just show up and just do a couple of shirts and then leave? Or like, what's up? And they were like, well, we like negotiated him to be here for like an hour. I'm like, an hour? Like, we're not going to get anything done in an hour. He's like, they're like, I know, but you know, we think that maybe we can like, you know, get him to stay. I'm like, well, how do you think you're going to get him to stay? And they were like, and then just like, we're sitting in the kitchen and they open this like crystal jar, like a beautiful like crystal jar. And they opened up the top, and it's filled. It's filled with OG Kush fucking weed, right? Of course. And I just look at it, I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot of fucking weed, man.
I have work to do tonight, and you're making me thirsty for. I want to smoke right now.
These big, beautiful fucking buds, like the kind of weed that you look at and you just want to lay in.
Dank.
And like, I'm not a pothead, man, but like I looked at that and I was
Not
like,
dry.
oh my god, I want to like lay in it. It's so smooth. Yeah, it's like marshmallows. It's like green marshmallows, dude, with like little red hairs. And I'm like, this is nuts.
It's a beautiful fruit.
It's beautiful. I like the smell of weed more than like anything. Like I like to smoke it, but like I would prefer to just like sit there smelling it.
Sometimes
it's kind
it
of
smells
like
literal shit, like manure. But I don't know. I love it so much that I just love it. It smells like Christmas trees, as my roommate and I like to say.
What kind of weed is he smoking? Jesus.
We smoke the good shit.
It's the fucking the Santa Claus strain.
Yeah.
But dude, so I look at these guys. I'm like, yo, I have a good feeling like he might stay.
Yeah.
So then.
Hey, Grace.
Hey, what's up? All right, so Jada shows up. He's got a fucking posse of like 20 dudes, maybe 15. I don't know, but it was a lot. At least 15 to 20 guys.
Nice.
It was like 5 cars full of people.
Bodyguards or just friends?
Just like,
dude,
I don't know, man. Just like, it's just like dudes. It's like dudes, like there, guys. Just like
it's not like a lineup.
His entourage,
like,
man.
Who are you? Just fucking.
Maybe dudes he went to school with. Like I don't know, man. But like a lot of people, and I'm
nice, man.
And you know, most of the time, you deal with these people, and it's like 1 or 2 people show up. They're very low key. He was rolling heavy for like a very like low key, like t-shirt company that's nobody's ever heard of, you know. And so he shows up, and so he's got this vibe, right? Like, I don't want to be here. I'm too good for this, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we're like, hey, what's up? How you doing, Jada? Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And he's in the kitchen. We're all kind of hanging out. And I'm like, and I just brought it up. I'm like, so Jada, like, how long do you think we got you for?
Nice.
And he's like, oh, you know, maybe we'll stick around for like a little bit, you know, do a couple of shots or whatever, like, you know, and we'll just head out. Meanwhile, by the way, they're already like an hour late, at least. So
for your thing.
Yeah, just to be on set.
Probably
to do a shoot.
And that means they're late for some other shit.
Dude, my
too.
assistant's there, like waiting around, like looking at his watch.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have a 4x5 set up, like, you know, film camera. I got digital. I got lights up. It's like I'm like ready to rock. And,
I usually ask that question. I didn't ask you tonight because you came in super chill. And we're friends. How long do I have you for, man? That's like the best question to ask for people, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, it's 9 o'clock already, so whatever. But like, and you know what? My wife is out kicking it with her homegirl. Nice. So like, you know, whatever. I don't have to be home anytime really soon.
Freedom.
So, you know, I'm looking at Jada, and I'm in my mind like, is he gonna just bounce the fuck out of here after like one picture or what? And then lo and behold, like the one kid just looks at Jada. He's like, yo, we know that this is your favorite, so we just figured we'd hook you up. And they just open like the crystal, he like pulls the lid off of like the crystal vase to reveal this like giant pot. This is like, dude, this is like a lot of weed, man. I can't even describe to you how much it was. It was like a goblet of weed. Okay.
I'm guessing.
And just Jada took one look at it and he goes,
8 ounces.
And he just goes,
maybe a 10 ounce.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not like a drug dealer. I just know it was a lot of weed. And he just
10 ounces, 1 ounce is like.
It was like an entire bowl of cereal worth. Like it was like a lot, dude. You know, like one of the big boxes, not like one of those little shitty ones. And he just looks at them and he's like, yeah, I think we'll be sticking around for a little bit longer than one shot, for
That's
sure.
the
You
trick,
know,
man.
Oh
You
my God!
I feel like 90% of the game, 90% of the game is just like predicting. It's like seducing women. It's like anything. It's like making friends. It's like anything.
Ian,
you want to make a good
the
film.
art of seduction.
You want to make a good film. You got to seduce everybody, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you gotta more than that. You gotta.
You're right.
You
No,
gotta
you're
know
right,
what
dude.
everybody wants, and you gotta beat them to the punch,
Well,
and you gotta have everybody happy all the time.
Listen,
that's what making films is: making everybody on set happy all the fucking time.
One thing that I'm not good at is like selling, like this idea of like what I'm gonna do for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like. I'm not like a salesman like that. Like, you know, but there is merit to that.
You have it in you, man. You're good at everything that needs to be done. You're good at, man.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say.
Maybe you don't think it's your forte because you know someone better than you, but
I think, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I'm just trying not to bullshit anybody. You know what I mean?
That's big key.
I'm not trying to bullshit.
Bullshit is like being in a relationship. Like it's all relationships. So if you're bullshitting in a relationship, you're just shoving shit under the rug. It's gonna blow up later on, man. That shit's gonna come back.
Yeah, that shit piles up under that rug, and there's a big lump under there.
And
you
it's
can't
gonna
walk
be
past
expensive,
it. And then
man.
you trip over when you walk past it on the rug. You know what I mean?
And nobody's gonna want to work with you again.
Yeah, and you're like, why did I trip over this rug? And you're like, oh, it's fucking. There's a bunch of shit on
better
there.
to be blunt. It's better to be honest. It's better to be fucking at the front. Walk in. And the best question is, how long do I have you for? Because if you don't have them and they're leaving, then gauge your time. But also it's like you're showing that you're considerate, subconscious. And then you have, I don't know what it is, whatever it is, weed. Fucking some people like actual cereal. Maybe you just got Lucky Charms and they just like Lucky Charms, and that's all you needed to have.
I love cereal too. By the way, I was like raised on cereal.
Yeah,
I love it.
My
cereal.
diets are all over the place right now. I don't even know what I like.
If I eat cereal now, I get fat though.
Yeah, exactly. Cereal's not good.
No, it's not good for you. When I was a teenager though, I would eat an entire box of cereal in one sitting.
Yeah,
like a psycho.
Ice cream. I used to eat just pints of ice cream in one sitting.
Just
man.
crushing ice cream.
Yeah, can't do it anymore, man. It sucks. Even this beer right now. What am I? I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna have to run.
Dude, I drank this. I've drank almost over half of this bottle of Bullet during this podcast, and you haven't had a sip. I'm surprised I'm not slurring my words as bad as I expect to. So
I would say here. Let me chug this water. You know, we're almost at 2 hours, man.
I can't believe it.
You know, not that I'm as cool as Joe Rogan, or not that I'll ever be anything like Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan's podcasts go long. And a lot of people are telling me like keep your podcast to 45 minutes or an hour and a half.
Fuck that, man.
My philosophy or my theory right now is like it doesn't fucking matter how long these episodes are. It doesn't even matter like how good my questions are. It's like if what I do is good and it's all gonna like it's not just this podcast. It's like everything I'm doing. If it all catches, it's because everyone else that I'm like you that I hang out with, everything is just catching. Then it could be 5 hours. It could be a fucking series. It doesn't matter, you know. It's like you can hit pause. By the way, too. If you can't finish the episode, you can have. I look at most of my friends' fucking browsers, and they got like 100 tabs open. So it's like,
how do you live with yourself?
Just hit pause on the episode, come back to it a week later, and realize, oh, I never finished that, and finish it a week later. Like, just who cares how long this episode is?
I can't do that. Do you do that? Do you leave like 100 tabs open on your fucking browser?
I'm pretty OCD, man.
Oh my god.
We have to edit. We have to like our processing power matters.
Yeah.
Like if my computer dies right now, I'm fucked. So I try not to kill it. I try to keep everything
yeah,
low burn.
Oh my god, my
If
wife
I'm
does
burning,
that.
everything is off. You know,
Oh
if
my
I'm
God.
editing, everything is shut down.
My wife is so crazy. I'll look at her computer and I'll see literally 100 tabs open, and it's like, what are you doing to yourself? This is torture. You're torturing yourself.
Fill me up here, man.
To fill you up with what?
Some of your shit.
Oh my god, you want some? Finally,
It is torture.
dude. 2 hours in, he's gonna finally have his first drink of bourbon.
I don't want to like.
Here we go. Listen to this.
I love your wife, man. Nikki's awesome. But I do want to give her advice that I gave to my ex, which is close those tabs. You got too many fucking tabs.
Close the tabs. What's wrong with you? Do you want a little? Do you want a little?
Please, man, please. I like hot water, not straight fire.
We're gonna do a little sparkling seltzer, Canadian Dry. We're gonna have a little sip together.
Thank you, man. Did you see that Elon Musk episode on Rogan or listen to it or anything?
Yeah. I listen to a lot of them.
I saw the memes.
He's one of like the only.
I read the news.
I only listen to like 4 or 5 podcasts. He's one of the 5.
Yeah,
that
he's
I listen
awesome.
to.
They're so entertaining, right? He's awesome.
He's got good guests.
What did you think about the whole fucking pot smoking thing on that, man? Musk smoking weed.
Refresh my memory.
It was like towards the end of the episode, Rogan rolled a blunt, it went around to Musk, and I had like an idea.
Did he hit it hard? I didn't see that part.
No, I had an idea of how it went down, and I was like, oh, he's so badass that he smokes and he doesn't care. But no, he clearly never smokes. Like, it's obvious when he smoked it.
He's a fucking nerd, bro. He's not smoking. He's not ripping on blunts, dude.
He didn't inhale, man.
Yeah, no way.
Musk did not inhale. And
No way.
It's fucking up his stocks. His life is kind of like you can look at the record, man. Everything's kind of spiraling for Musk right now, and we need.
I sold.
We need him.
I sold my Tesla stock, by the way.
We need him productive. Yeah, smart. We need him productive because it's going down. We need him back because he's the one who's doing the solar shit and doing the space and everything. It's not just fuck space.
You know what gets in the way?
He's smart and doing shit that we need here on Earth right now.
Ian, dude, you know what gets in the way of really cool creative people? Life.
Corporate oligarchy, I would say.
Just life. Just life, man.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Like
to
the
just,
shit.
It's cool to say the
like
life thing because life is hard.
Just like the shit that life throws at you.
Corporate oligarchy is the biggest social structure that's inhibiting humanity right now and gonna destroy the planet.
You goddamn hippie.
And the military-industrial complex, which is separate but totally a part of the corporate oligarchy.
More guns. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean these things are all self-perpetuating, man. They need more money, they need more attention, and they need everybody to agree with them.
I'm not a fan of all that shit, but you know what I really hate, dude? You know what really, like, when I watch a movie, you know what really fucking bothers me?
Well, what bothers me?
Nazis bother me.
Yeah,
anytime I see a Nazi in a movie,
Glorious Bastards.
just anytime I see a Nazi in a movie, I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you want to kill him, right?
Yeah.
I don't have
like
a.
this guy.
I'm a pretty
This character
peaceful,
better die by
passive-
the end of the movie.
I'm a pacifist. I don't want to fight anybody, but I would kind of have fun killing Nazis, man.
Just fucking Nazis, dude.
It's like free
something
reign to
about
let
it.
your murderous
It's
side
really,
out, right?
and you know what? There are Nazi type people out there in the world that like.
Man, there's straight Nazis around still, man.
They haven't, but like
Yo, the CIA.
There are
the CIA
Nazis out
and
there.
a lot of other governments from other countries.
There's neo-Nazis.
Brought the Nazis to their countries.
But they haven't mobilized like the way they mobilized in 1930s Germany.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
they adopted their principles and all their methods, and they gave them private funding to do secret experiments. And now we're talking conspiracies, man.
This conspiracy
But
motherfucker.
Nazis are alive and well.
Keep going.
They're alive. They're alive. They're literally alive. They're still living Nazis, directing people to this day.
Sure.
And in secrecy.
Sure.
Hidden.
Some shady shit going on.
If I was in a position to kill a Nazi, I would, man. And I'm not a killer.
So hold on a second, Ian. If we were just kicking it here right now, just drinking bourbon, and a Nazi walked in here wearing a full Nazi uniform, and he dropped a Heil Hitler, would you just fucking just shoot him? Would you just kill him? No questions asked?
If I thought I could take him down, I would take him down and interrogate him. I would get as much information.
Would you like wrestle him down to the ground and do like a fireman throw on him and like
fireman's carry?
A fire.
I might. I don't know. Whatever.
Did you wrestle in high school? Did you wrestle?
Senior year only.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just senior year.
Just senior year.
Oh my god.
I did it out of sheer loneliness and the need to prove that I could like become more.
Oh my God! How depressing. What? Did you succeed in this venture?
I mean, I made a lot of great friends, and my first match, I got a bloody nose, and like 3 matches with that same person later, I had that same dude crying. So yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude! I have a similar story.
I improved my abilities, man.
I remember when I was a junior, I was a photographer for the yearbook. Because I was a fucking photographer. And I was also the editor of the fucking yearbook when I was a senior, by the way, because I'm a fucking huge dork. But that being said, when I was shooting the wrestling junior year, I played baseball, by the way, too. I played baseball throughout high school. But I was like, I saw wrestling, and I was like, and I used to wrestle with my friend Constantine, who was always bigger and stronger than me, and he always used to kick my fucking ass. He would kick my ass.
You have to wrestle people that are several weight classes higher.
He just always fucked me up, dude. I could never beat him. So but I was younger when that was going down. So I remember being like 17 and being like, okay, senior year, and like watching, like photographing some of the wrestling matches when I was a junior, and I was like, I'm gonna try out for the team next year. And I showed up to wrestling practice first day. And first of all, they weighed me, and they were like, okay, you're what, 171? Yeah, okay, you're going to be wrestling 151. You're going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, by the way, I did. Yeah. That's how insane the workouts were. I dropped 20 pounds in 2
you're
weeks.
A different weight. I was the lowest weight. I was already like naturally like 96.
96?
I was below. Shit. That's like below the actual regulation. So like I wasn't even competing. I wasn't even competing, man. But you're in that weight class where you literally have to. Like I sucked.
I got my ass kicked. Oh, hold on.
You got to get into shape. I had to get in shape. That's what actually matters. It's less. It's everyone's obsessed with the weight loss thing.
I am to this day. I fully believe that everybody is at least 20 pounds overweight. Because if you consider
conversation,
if you consider fighting weight to be your optimal weight, you're 20 pounds overweight,
and then you can suck 10 more.
And you can always suck 10 more.
That's what's scary.
That's the scary part.
Down like 3 weight classes,
but then you get weak though. That's when you start getting weak. Because I remember I dropped from 171 down to 151, and I felt weak. But like when I dropped more, I felt even weak. I was too weak to fight. So then it was like, okay, then I can't do that. I got to be at 151 at least.
Yeah.
And so I did 151. But like my first wrestling practice, I was at 171. And I was wrestling a kid who was 140.
Yeah.
And he was really cool.
Wild, man.
He was really nice. He was like this Asian kid, and like I knew him through school, and he was like, he kind of like would look at me like, he's like, yo, you're a senior, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm a sophomore. And I was like, okay. And I was like, how long have you been wrestling? He's like, well, I've been wrestling since I was like in 6th grade. I was like, okay, well, I'm 30 pounds heavier than you, so I don't want to hurt you. And he's like, ha, 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 you won't hurt me, man. And so, like, first wrestling practice, the kid annihilated me. I mean, he, like, took me, he threw me 5 times in a row.
When you don't know how to wrestle, you don't know how to fight.
And you know what? I told him, I was like, listen, man, I got you by 30 pounds, and I should be beating you. So when I learn how to actually do this shit, we're going to fight again. And you know what? I didn't win a lot of matches that year. I only won like a couple of matches, but by the end of the year, I was able to pin him. And that was like my goal for the season, cuz he was like a seasoned good wrestler, and if we, listen to Joe Rogan, we know it's all about technique, right? You know. And so, like, I managed to get some technique down. For me, finally, after fighting, the whole season.
And wrestling, but fighting, period, is more psychology, man. I saw a guy. There was a guy who wrestled he was my year in high school and everything.
Yeah.
He was smaller than everybody, and he was always wrestling up. And his he was thin, and he just fucked with, like, he's just like his gaze and everything. It's psychology too, man. There's technique. He knew the technique. But I think at a certain point, everybody knows technique. Everybody knows the moves. Everybody knows the rotation. You can do this, that, and the other thing. But his psychology was He would just dominate everybody psychologically, man. It was so awesome watching it, man. That's why I think that's all top fighters, man. They're like the psychological.
Look at Tyson.
Even that silly motherfucker. It's like the way he talks is so silly, but like his
Yeah, but
His
Tyson
psychology, and he
during-
talks about the psychology
during the
too.
lineup,
He
like,
studies the psychology of it.
when they would just look at each other in the eye, when Tyson would line up and look at his opponent in the eye before the fight, it was just pure confidence, and he knew, like he knew
He was studying.
that-
He was like at the top of everything you could possibly.
He
do
was
when
the best.
in his
He
top of
was
his
he's
game.
just the best. Like he was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I feel like that mentality sort of runs through a lot of things, man.
I like applying it to art, man, because I like shied away from competition in sports big time after I broke my leg. I was like, fuck all this is stupid. Like, I'm not playing sports
When did you break
anymore.
your leg? Were you in high
college,
school?
man. In college. You don't remember that? I was walking with
No.
a broken leg.
Oh shit! I actually do.
I was dancing more during that time than I ever have in my entire life.
How did you break
we
your
used
leg?
to go to 5 Spot, and they used to call me Crutches, and I was dancing with everybody, man.
5 Spot. Oh my god,
It was fun.
that was a
But
great.
yeah,
spot.
no, I sort of like, and that combined with like getting into filmmaking, I was like, fuck the Oscars, fuck competition, it's all bullshit. I want to like empathize with humanity. I want to tell deep emotional stories, and that's what matters, not competition. But it doesn't, like the games are real, games are everywhere, and whether you're admitting that you're playing it or not doesn't mean you're.
I think
doesn't mean you're
competition
not
is
playing.
healthy. Competition is good.
Everybody's
Like,
playing games all the time.
Even if it's competition against yourself.
yeah.
Like, like having a standard to like rise up to.
Totally, man.
Like creates
self improvement is training.
absolutely. It's all
For
training.
what? A game.
Like, don't be complacent. It's your life. Like, it's your fucking life, and you only have a certain amount of days
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah.
So
Unless
What-
it's a simulation and reincarnation. is real.
unless you just get recycled like Mario
Yeah.
back in fucking level 1, 3 lives to go. Here we go again.
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's that quick. It's a
you-
reset button.
You may as well just, if you can't find your competition, you just become your own competition.
Yeah, man.
And be like a guy like Michael Phelps. You know what I mean?
Like this guy, like
Yo, we're over 2 hours, man, and I have to
Oh.
pee. Do you want to keep going?
no, we can wrap it up. I'm drunk, man. I drank this whole.
You
I drank
gave
this whole bottle of Bullet.
you did everything in this episode. I usually have to like ask people at the end like what makes you angry, give advice. I
Oh,
usually wrap up
God.
the episode with advice. You gave great advice earlier.
What makes you angry?
We talked about
What makes you angry, Ian? What's the name of this podcast?
Yeah.
It's like angry. What is it called?
I mean, the thing that used to make me the angriest,
Just the angry
if,
guy.
if I admit it, was the relationship I was in was making me really angry, and I was stupid and selfish and immature for.
If you're in a
hanging on to that
relationship, if you're in a relationship that makes you angry, you're not in a good relationship.
Yeah, and
the
that
relationship should be a
that shit was honestly
a compliment to
fueling
who
all
you
my
are, and to help you grow as a human being, and
Yeah.
be a supplement to you in your life and who you are.
supplementary, complementary, but not fighting all the time.
Exactly, man. Like if your heart.
Well, hold on. I'll take that back too, because I know a lot of my friends, they're in great relationships. They complement each other, they supplement each other, and they fight all the time. Fighting, it's weird because fighting doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad relationship. Like fighting alone is not, to me, an indication like it's a bad
Having
relationship.
disagreements and then coming to terms with them is one thing, but fighting is another thing.
It's like, can you overcome? Can you learn something from that fight? And can you both grow from that fight? Or are you having the same fight
I think
over and over and over again?
I think it's also important to challenge each other. That's the
Yeah.
thing. See, the thing is, and I think I guess we'll I know we want to wrap up soon, but I'll just say
we do need to challenge each other.
I'll just
yeah.
say this: like I think a healthy
Relationship.
involves challenging each other
Yeah.
and then growing from that, and not taking shit personally and being petty
Yeah.
and stupid and bitchy about it and cunty about it.
Yeah.
So like, there's been times in my relationship with my wife where early on where I would do some shit or she would do some shit and we would get on each other about it and then just like fight and just be fighty, like a fighty couple.
Yeah.
To a point where I kind of just I had like a come to Jesus moment where I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship where we're fighting, because I have enough bullshit out there in the real world where when I come home, I need my relationship at home to be stable. And if there's a disagreement, that's fine. We can discuss it and talk it through, but like have a final sort of understanding and move past it and not let that linger. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like I remember this is like a long time ago, but I remember I said that to Nikki, and
like you said, this is my wish.
I said
this is my desire.
I basically said like, listen, I don't want to fight with you. Like you know, if we have a disagreement, that's one thing. But if you're gonna fucking fight and like stomp out of the room and I'm leaving, like fucking stay gone. Just stay gone. Just fucking if you're gonna leave, fucking leave and don't come back. But if you want to be here, then be here. And if you want to talk it through, we'll talk it through. But like I can't do this. Like the contrast in emotion between like good and bad, you know, if it exceeds like the breaking point, and then it shoots back down. That's not healthy. You know what I mean? Like there should be push and pull. There needs to be discussion and disagreement. But like if it's clearly like if it turns into like a fuck you, you're an asshole. If names are being called, it's over. If you're gonna say fuck you, you're an asshole, and I honestly didn't. I'm not being an asshole. Then it's over. It's over. You're out.
I think the dynamics of relationships is its own series, not just one episode of a podcast.
It's like a goddamn.
And we're
like a goddamn fucking series of 50
we're
books.
We're dipping our toes in at the end here, man.
Just dip the toe in. Just feels so good on your toes.
Thank you though, because I need to work it out. I'm like alone again, and I need to process what happened.
We'll find you a nice slag. Get you going.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Are you internet dating?
World.
What are you doing? Are you internet dating?
I'm not.
How are you finding ladies? Just the old-fashioned way?
I gotta be careful with what I say. Yeah, very old-fashioned.
You know, I was at the supermarket over by the subway station over here by Jefferson. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pretty girls walking around there.
Yo, and I'm of a new poly state of mind. Like,
you can go hang out there by the produce section.
I don't know
maybe
if
find a nice lady.
I don't know if I'm a poly dude necessarily.
You can feel the melons and say, "What do you think of this melon?
Yeah.
Is this ripe? What do you think?"
Is that a pickup line you're trying to give me, man? I got better lines.
It's a good line, Ian. Come on, get in there. What do you think of this melon? Is this good? What do you think? No? Give it a knock. What do you think?
So, in closing, Tommy is not only a very funny human being, he's also a fucking really thoughtful human being. And more than anything, man, I want to work with you, and I recommend everybody who needs a photographer or DP, just meet up with this guy, talk to him, get to know him.
Very nice of you, Ian. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not trying to be nice.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking
honest,
forward
man.
to you. And I'm looking forward to when you call me and you say, "Hey, Tommy, I wrote a script and I want to make a feature film."
Yeah, where I'm at right now is I'm gonna go so improv that our last conversation was like, maybe this.
We
is
can
the
get
one
weird,
that
man.
Tommy in.
I love weird. Let's get weird. You want to get weird? We can get weird. Creatively, we can get fucking weird.
But I also need to rehearse for 6 months. I'm down with that, man. Like what's his name was doing.
Josh.
I'm gonna do that. I think it's super important. The actors need to have such a
real
rapport going on.
real actors, real rapport in the character.
Needs to be more out. The story's always in my head, but it needs to be out of my head. It needs to be in their head. They need to have their own fucking ideas.
Yeah.
And I don't want to control it. I want the cameras rolling. Like that, the original reason why I got into filmmaking was not to do animation, because I can do animation. It was to give actors the opportunity to fucking do some shit that makes me cry. You know, that's why I wanted to make films in the first place.
Speaking of crying, man.
Yeah.
The end scene of Kate Can't Swim.
It's pretty emotional, man.
It was very emotional. When I was filming it, I'll never forget it. When I was filming it,
were you crying while you were shooting?
I'm sitting there. Yeah, I'm like, it's all shoulder rig, and I'm like filming the scene, and I'm just like, I've got tears just like streaming down my face, man. Being in the room, just seeing it happen, I was just like, fucked up.
I can't overstate it, man. That film is great. You were part of a fucking great film.
I appreciate that. I guess we'll do a plug for that. Should we do a plug for that?
Kate Can't Swim. Link might be in the description if they want it.
It's on Amazon.
So you're gonna have to buy it.
So you can watch it on Amazon, I think, and it's also on. It's on a few things online. You can definitely find it. It's on iTunes as well.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon and iTunes.
It's definitely what would be categorized as mumblecore, 100%. Even I heard them talking about it. I heard them talking about it. The creators were like, "We're doing mumblecore."
Oh, really?
And it's like you can look at it from two perspectives. It's a style. It's easy to fucking do that style.
Yeah.
There's an approach, and if you're looking at it from the approach perspective, You're digging out emotions. And the mumblecore was never meant to be called that. The people doing it, they didn't call it that. But they were digging out emotions, man. They were bridging bridging the gap between film and plays.
Yeah.
And they figured out how to give actors freedom on
That's
set.
it's like Lady Bird, like the girl that did Lady Bird, like that's like mumblecore, right? I would assume.
Lady Bird.
Would you consider mumblecore?
I don't know if I saw Lady Bird. I don't know if I saw Lady Bird.
Dude, are you kidding me?
There's
Lady Bird was one of the biggest movies of the year last year.
Fuck, dude.
It was a nice film.
Last year I was
it was a good
fucked,
film.
and that's why I'm angry. Last year I was fucked.
A little angry, fucking angry as shit. This guy.
Yeah.
You should see Lady Bird. It was
Yeah.
It was
I've heard
lovely.
about it. Haven't seen it.
It was a good one.
What was the rapper who I need to check out again?
Jadakiss.
Yeah,
You should check him
embarrassing.
out.
I'm always embarrassed on this podcast. You have no idea how many times I've been like red in the face on this podcast, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Just for not knowing your shit.
That was my biggest fear for doing the podcast in the first place.
You
man.
need like an assistant.
I don't know anything, man.
You need an assistant who's
I
like
need
Googling
Joe Rogan's
shit.
Googler, man.
You need just like somebody to Google shit
Rogan
while we're
has a
talking about
Googler.
it. So we're like, oh yeah, we're totally full of shit. We don't know what we're talking about or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So we're
that's the thing.
putting the feelers out. I need a Googler. Anybody biting?
I like to say giggler. You're a giggler.
Yeah. we need a giggler.
Little
you
giggle.
need to laugh.
I'm
while
not a
you Google.
Googler. I'm a giggler.
Yeah.
I'll find it out for you, but I'll laugh while I do it. You know what I mean?
That's what's gonna happen because it's like they're gonna already know the answer.
Doctor-
They're gonna know the questions to Google.
Dr.
Dr.
Googles. Do you remember a horror film when we were kids called Dr. Giggles?
No.
Oh God!
What else
it's
don't I know?
It's like it's like around like
What was Dr.
it's
Giggles?
around the same time as like Chucky, like Child's Play. It's a doctor named Dr. Giggles.
And what does he do?
He's just like but he would like
Sadistic?
Yeah, he was like a sadistic giggler who would like giggle while he like fucking cuts you with a scalpel and like kills you. You know, like it's like.
Shit.
But like with Google, the joke is over now.
Yo, we're
Dr.
recording
Googles.
this and it's like about to be Halloween. This is gonna come out long after Halloween.
Really?
Unless like I have to work the next like 2 weeks straight. I'm not.
Just
I don't
fucking
have,
just upload it.
Dude.
Do you edit? Do you actually edit the shit?
No, but I mix and I master, and I have to do a Photoshop.
Yo, mix master Ian.
Yo, putting podcasts out is not as easy as you think.
Maybe we should have just filmed it so you don't have to sit there fucking editing a fucking.
Filming is twice the work. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Just fucking a camera on you and a camera on me and it's a wrap.
Then I gotta process the color, and I gotta
Process
get a
the
colorist
color. Get a colorist.
I'm kidding, but
What? You're crazy.
Video is more work.
Ian.
Podcasts are not.
I'll
easy.
show you my streamline. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheers.
All right.
And
Listen,
I'm gonna go
cheers.
take a piss.
Let's
unless you
wrap
have
it
to go
up.
first.
Cheers. Thank you for
I
having
always let
me.
guests piss first.
Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming.
Happy
man.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Have a spooky Halloween. What are you gonna?
It
What are you gonna?
Christmas. It might be 2019. by the
What are
time
you
hear
gonna
this.
be for Halloween, dude?
I don't know. I usually just do Day of the Dead shit. It's lazy and stupid and getting old for me because I love skulls and skeletons and shit.
Okay, you go Mexican. You go Mexican style with it.
Not even Mexican. I got the Cinco flair. I do my own skeleton style.
Oh
I got some great. You haven't seen my makeup.
I mean, dude, you do fucking epic
I do
makeup.
makeup, dude.
Yeah, dude, he's good with his hands, ladies. Ian is good with his hands. All right.
Sensitive, compassionate. good with
sensitive.
hands. I would say the same thing about Tommy.
Full body paint. I'll draw a skeleton on your boobs. It's fine. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm drunk. I drank the whole bottle. The bottle's done. There's like one finger left in the bottle.
And I just want to say for the record, this is not a drunken podcast. It just so happens that the last 3 podcasts I recorded were all pretty drunken.
I think it's important to have drinks while you're doing this because
it depends who it is, man.
Like
when you don't know who the person
dude,
is, it's
if I have a microphone in my face,
maybe they don't want it. If the guest wants it, I kind of do whatever the guest wants.
Well, we could go very NPR and be like, "Hello, how are you?"
You're doing an NPR voice, right?
I'm gonna do NPR. Ready? Here's the NPR. So it's like, we're very happy to have Tommy Agriodimas on the show. He is a filmmaker and DP. He likes to work with paper mache and glitter. So if you want to see his work, you can check it out at papermacheandglitter.com.
I think he's a Crouching Tiger, hidden voiceover actor over here too.
Crouching Tiger, hidden voiceover.
He's actually got a great voice too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
The last thing I wanted to say is that I always wanted to do voiceover stuff. I always
You're
wanted.
not kidding.
I always wanted to do like weird accents. I grew up making fun of my dad's accent.
Let's hear it.
So like it's
Can
a
you
very
give- can you
thick
give me a-
Greek
Can
accent.
you give me a solid closing, and then I'm seriously gonna hit stop, but in your dad's
Okay.
accent?
My father would normally look at me.
What's his name before you say it?
My
man?
father's name is Spiros Agriodimas.
Shout out Spiros.
Spiros Agriodimas,
And he would say things like,
he just look at me and kind of do like a wince and be like, "Why you do this, Tommy? Why you do this to me? You have to be, you be good boy. You have to be, you be nice. You be sharp. You have to be sharp. When they walk into the room, you have to be like people. They look at you. They, you know, you know, and that's kind of like. I grew up like I don't have a mastery of the English language, not because I'm an idiot, but most likely because that communicating in my household, my family, there was a lot of like grunts and sounds and just expressions that would relay what you want versus like an academic approach to like speaking the English language. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
man. I think that's why you're better at relating to most people in general, most of the time.
Most of my best friends are like first generation something, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Whether you're from, I don't care if you're from like wherever. Like I don't care if you're from Japan or Mexico or Italy or Spain or wherever the fuck you're from. If you're like a first generation kid, your parents were like immigrants, like
Yo,
you know,
I'm
hard
fascinated.
workers.
I'm fascinated by language, man. But
I love language.
I'm more about like.
I love
what
language.
connects us? That's more interesting.
I
to me.
love speaking. I grew up speaking. I speak fluent Greek, you know, and like that's like a big deal for me. Like being able to speak another language.
Yo, can you say?
Is
can
huge.
Can you say this has been episode or not episode? I don't know what episode number this is. Can you say, my name is Tommy, whatever, and this has been the Short Bold and Angry podcast.
Με λένε Θανάση και για όλους τους Έλληνες εκεί πέρα, έξω εκεί πέρα που ακούνε τώρα, σας αγαπάω και θα τα λέμε. Yeah.
Translation.
I said for all you Greeks out there, you can understand me. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
That was it. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
man.
basically
Fuck
it. All right.
What's short, bald, and angry in Greek?
I don't know how to say bald. Even though there's a lot of bald Greeks out there.
Say short.
Χωρίς μαλλιά. Like if
Rub
you
your head a lot,
like
man.
bald is like without hair. Χωρίς μαλλιά. Χωρίς μαλλί.
so it's like,
Κοντός, χωρίς μαλλί και άγριος. And my last name is Agriodimas, which means the angry one, like the wild one.
Does it?
Yeah, agrio is angry.
man.
When people say, "Oh man, you're mad aggro,"
Yo.
it's Agriodimas. Same thing.
I think you helped me out on this podcast in a big way. I get a lot of criticism. I never get angry. I don't think I got angry, but we talked about some shit that gets us angry on this
Dude,
episode,
you
man.
didn't get angry at all.
Yo,
right
but we
now.
talked about some shit that gets me angry, so you brought me up a level as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, that's nice.
We'll let the listeners decide.
Yo, maybe. Listen, if I'll come and be like a guest. I'll be like your assistant guest once in a while if you want. We'll fucking tag team people.
I do need somebody to spur me on and get me angry because I don't get angry. When I get angry, I hide it. That's what I do.
Why do you hide anything? Don't hide your emotions, Ian.
Yeah.
Be a man about it.
I'm gonna fucking scream.
Don't be scared.
I'm gonna fucking be
Let it
mad.
out. It's all right. Take your pants off. Hang out a while.
I'm home, baby.
Oh, he's home. We got a shag rug out here. we got
definitely
a nice.
standing up. You have to pee?
We got a great coffee table. I got a skeleton over here hanging out, looking at me. It's good. We got all kinds of cobwebs. I feel like I'm in a fucking spider web.
Keep going, man.
This is like a very typical. It's like an atypical Brooklyn, but not so atypical Brooklyn Bushwick studio where there's like all kinds of weird rooms built in. Like this is like a spot that can house like 10 people, but it's like divided up with like unique interior architecture and design. There's like a couple of fucking globes hanging out around here. There's skeletons. There's a giant T-Rex painting. I don't know what to do, man. I'm sitting here by myself. If anybody's listening, I just want to say that shit, I don't know what I want to say. I want to say that I'm addicted to my phone. And I think I want to switch to a flip phone and get rid of this goddamn iPhone. And only use the phone for phone calls. Not even texting. Fuck texting. You wanna call me? Talk to me. Want to hear my voice? Give me a call. Let's chat. I got black cats all over the place. I got a little black cat at my house. Her name is Agatha. She's a great cat. She's like the sweetest little cat. 75% of stray cats in... My wife keeps telling me this. 75% of straight cats... 75% of stray cats in shelters are black cats. And I think there's a degree of racism there. And I think that all of you cat lovers should go out and get yourself a black cat. My black cat is an absolute darling. She's so sweet. All she does is just love and hug. So get yourself a black cat. Stop being racist. The fuck?
All right, dude, I'm done.
Are you sure?
I did like a whole
Do you have any poetry?
I did like a whole thing of diatribe. I did like a whole thing of like cats just now.
Alright. If you're so cats means it's
10
done.
a.m.
Cats is like
To photo expo.
Tommy, man. I'm gonna say thank you on the
I'm out.
air.
Is this done?
Yeah,
hold
I'm gonna thank you on the air.
Oh,
Go hit the head, man. Thank you. You need to go to the bathroom.
This is a lot of fun.
If I had to pee, you have to pee.
You know what's funny?
I went to pee before
Yo,
you.
I got the seal. Like my seal, I have a bladder the size of like Idaho. It's fucking crazy. But then when I do break the seal, then I'm peeing all night.
Right.
But like I'll do like
Your bladder is...
I'll do like a 6-pack
You
before I
got a
gotta
big bladder,
pee.
man. You got a 6 bladder.
Yeah, dude, look how fucking huge my fucking belly is. Like a fucking
You did not... Yeah.
like I'm like, whoa.
Tommy is a very beautiful man, and he does not have a belly, but he's over here pretending like he has a belly.
I got a belly. Yeah, a little bit of a belly, you know what I mean?
We're older, man.
Ugh.
The belly doesn't go away.
It just keeps
You gotta like have a
it just
crazy
keeps
diet
going.
and crazy levels of discipline to get rid of the belly.
You know what I've been doing? I'm playing basketball, dude. A lot of basketball.
I fucking love basketball, man.
do.
I'm afraid to play it because I'm afraid to twist an ankle, hurt a knee. Like I'm afraid I'm gonna get in there and pretend like I'm young again, or think I'm young again, and just like hurt myself.
Here's the secret: if you get basketball shoes, they really support your ankles. Like before I got
For
my
the
basketball
jump?
shoes, I was
Because they're not good for running.
Dude, no, they're not. But lateral movement.
Yeah.
Basketball is all lateral movement. It's all
They're built for that, huh?
They're
They
built
actually
for that.
are.
So like, yeah, it's weird because I was playing ball with my like running shoes, and I was twisting my ankle. I was like, shit, this sucks. And then I got basketball shoes.
Now I
and
need to buy fucking basketball shoes. I want to play basketball, man. I'm totally down.
You know what? The weather's no good now. It's over.
Summer comes around.
But like when the spring comes back, we can go play.
Spring.
I played the last 3 months. I played ball 3 times a week, fucking like clockwork.
I'm shaking your hand right now, man.
I lost.
I'm
like,
gonna play. I'm
I
gonna
lost
go.
a lot of weight from this summer.
I'm gonna go-
dude.
I'm gonna go
I
head
got-
to head
I
with
was
you,
like out
man.
to here this summer. I was like eating. I was in Europe. I was like all fucking fat and shit.
All right, where do you? Yeah, we didn't talk about your fucking documentary, dude. Let's talk about the documentary.
What documentary? What are you talking about?
The documentary you made with your grandfather, man. Walking around Greece. What island?
What- it's not on
what
an island.
was that?
Southern Peloponnesos, the Peloponnese region.
Yeah.
I just hung out with my grandfather. He's like 90, 89 years old. And I spent a day hanging out with him. And I had a camera with me, and I just kind of made a little documentary about it. And
It's a slow burner.
It's a slow burner.
The opening is slow.
It's
like
like-
you're not sure what you're getting into.
it's like
maybe
it's
I don't
like
need to
it's
watch
15
the whole
minutes.
thing, but
It's 15 minutes long. It's not that long. It's not that short.
Yo,
It's long enough for you to get a good sense of who he is
I think
and
everybody
what he went
should
through.
watch it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. He's an amazing old man. He's from Greece. There's subtitles. He speaks no English, so if you can read, you should watch the documentary.
If you can't read, get a translator to watch it with you and translate.
He's just a little angel. He's really amazing. And
I think that it's important that if you, just anybody out there, honestly, who has a grandparent that's still alive, and a fucking phone or a fucking camera, anything that can record video, just like spend a fucking hour with them and just film them and just ask them some questions.
There's so many layers to why I want to talk about this. Maybe this is his own episode. I don't know. But like one of the biggest reasons is, yes, my grandparents are dead, man. I can't talk to them anymore. And like, I wish I could. Like, there's so many days. I don't want to say every day because that would be lying. I go weeks without thinking about my grandparents. But when I think about them, it really hurts me. It hurts me so hard that I can't talk to them, man.
It's really, it's really...
Especially with what we do, it's like we document. You're not a photojournalist, as you said, but you document.
Yeah, I mean, the photojournalist is like within me. It's very, very much a part of me, and it's within me.
And we're not on the reality television tip.
Fuck that shit. We're in the real shit. We're in the real shit. So, just anybody who I just love seeing real shit.
Yeah, man.
So, like, if anybody that's actually listening to this might be interested.
This is going to be supplemental. This is going to be like the bonus material. Better be listening to the bonus material.
Oh, nice.
Man.
So my grandfather goes into he talks about, his life and growing up in southern Greece right after World War II, when Greece suffered a really horrible civil war and it was in disarray for a long time. He lived through that, and he has some stories about that, and it's pretty fascinating to listen to. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm sure Ian will provide a link.
Yeah, that link is very public and free. And the thing that like killed me about it was like when he's talking about, I might be blurry and fuzzy right now, not just because I'm drunk, because I don't remember, but he's talking about how friends and family are kind of pitted against each other when war hits. When war actually touches down, and we're in America, where like there's maybe a civil war brewing. And it's like, and we have terrorism, which, by all logic, should absolutely annihilate America because American government's done fucked up shit. But we have no war here right now. We have a very peaceful country.
Yeah.
Everything is really peaceful, despite the drug war and the war on minorities.
Yeah.
So yeah, for all the white motherfuckers out there, like when war touches down, it pits family members against each other. It pits friends against each other, and that's it's terrifying, man.
Yep.
The stories your grandfather shares in a you said it's 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15-minute short film. The stories he shares, it's probably right in the middle. I don't know where it is. It's like it's fucking bone chilling, man. The shit he talks about is bone chilling.
It's just a little slice of life from a very simple farmer in southern Greece.
Yeah.
And he goes into it. And what's funny? I always wanted to film him. And finally last year I managed to get a day to just go hang out with him and spend the whole day. I spent the night at his house the night before, got up early in the morning with him and went to the fields and just kicked it with him all day. And I'm 37. And I haven't done that. I used to do that with him a lot when I was younger, when I was like, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, just when I was a kid, I would go and just spend time with him. And I never really got it. But, like, I never really understood how, what kind of shit he went through until, now as an older man, I look at how significant that time was and how significant his stories actually are. And it really puts things into perspective. So I think that it's important to document that and get a real account of what life was like there. And life, and this is Greece, man. Like, this isn't even Nigeria or Eastern Bloc, or there's a lot of places around the world that are just going through this kind of shit. So I actually
it's happening now worse than it ever has, man. Because the technology and weapons now are crazier than they were during that time.
It's true.
The devastation on Earth right now is more catastrophic than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And more of it.
And you know what? I think that there are I forgot the name. But there are a couple of websites out there you can reach out and donate your old phone or donate a camera
No shit.
that get sent to
Places that need
Africa and South America and places that need it, that get given to kids to just document what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, we're
and
talking
they
about
upload
some
those
really,
things to
like,
YouTube, and
good
it's like we
shit.
see real life happening by the real young. I'm talking 15-year-old young kids just filming what's happening. They are the
You
photojournalists.
still have to be careful with scams, but yes, fucking donate.
Yes.
Donate. Watch out for scams.
It's very real.
Figure out. Make sure you got your private shit off the phone. Maybe that's not possible. Actually.
No, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can wipe your phone.
No.
Send it down.
There's someone listening from the NSA right now, not because this is live, but because our phones are right here and they can hear everything we're saying.
It's true.
And you can't wipe your phone. Do you know how to wipe your phone? You don't know how to wipe your phone. So donate your phone is kind of a risky proposition. But honestly, if you're donating your phone to these, what you're talking about, nobody's going to fuck you over, man. People need help. People need help. There, man.
You got an old camera with a memory card, put it in the mailbox and send it down to South America. Venezuela, I mean, come on.
You know a name of one of these services or no?
I honestly,
I don't know.
I'm a little too tanked to remember all the names. But
maybe that's in the description.
But it's really important to foster the storytellers of the next generation. I feel like there are important storytellers.
That's where we're at, man.
That's where we're at. So it's really important to share that information, to get it out there.
We're the storytelling crew.
And growing up, being in the United States, like everybody has some old camera that they don't want anymore.
Yeah.
Donate it. Send it somewhere that it'll get use. It doesn't matter the megapixel. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, literally.
It'll
doesn't
tell the
matter.
story.
Even like a 4 megapixel, is that old now?
It's fine. If you can record, it'll tell the story, and it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a tool, and we're living in a time right now that is fucked up. A lot of turmoil.
And throwing away technology is actually bad for the environment. Too.
Exactly. Reuse it. Keep it going.
You're helping people in need and the environment.
Yep. I fully back that.
We're going through a major shift.
Yep.
Because we used to just throw that shit away.
Well, it's fucking crazy.
Do you not need to go to the bathroom right now?
Nah, man, I'm good.
That's amazing. You have a huge bladder.
I didn't have beers though, man.
Yeah, you drink less than I did.
I was drinking whiskey all the time. So,
So you're chill.
Whiskey versus beer.
Whiskey is sophisticated. Beer is, I'm drunk and I need to pee like a motherfucker.
All right, listen.
And if Tommy was drinking, I have a Cronenberg brain running off the side of my head.
Oh, God, I'd have like a bubble right here like this.
Someday, if Tommy lets me, I'm going to document that because that's interesting.
It's super weird.
That's
I mean, it doesn't get like that big, but it's like, it's big enough where you're like, it's almost like, like imagine like an egg. Like you push it up against like a flat thing of latex.
That's crazy, man.
And it's like a bump. It's like a bump. And I'm like, you can see it in the mirror. And I'm like, oh my God, it's scary. So
before we close, you're talking about eggs in the documentary you made. It's all about your grandfather. Like it's like you're following him around and you really immediately put yourself in the background. You're not one of those guys who's like, it's about me. No, it's about your grandfather.
Yeah.
And then at the end, is it his wife? Or his
no, that's his that's like a family friend from the village.
It's a family friend
Sophia.
from the village. She taught me how to crack eggs, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't know how to crack eggs before you saw her?
You crack eggs against each other with the sharp the point against the round part, man.
Yep. And
maybe that video.
And in olive oil is the key.
Yeah.
And
she cooks with a lot of olive oil.
You spoon the olive oil over the egg so it cooks the egg from the top.
Yeah.
As well as from underneath.
That part I might have differing opinions on because I am a chef. Not a good one, but I have my own philosophies with health. But
olive oil.
Breaking eggs is another topic.
I have a fucking olive oil company. I'm a partner in an olive oil company.
I'm not surprised, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like kind of surprised.
Did I ever tell you about the time?
Crazy surprised.
Did I ever tell you about the time I invested like $10,000 in olive oil, my family olive oil, and then I sold it to the New York Yankees?
No.
I guess we'll leave that for another time.
Yo, Tommy is definitely coming back in this podcast, and I'm about to hit stop. We're gonna do like a loud slap in the middle here right now, man. Thank you for coming on. I love you. Thank you for talking to me.
Ugh, good times. Thank you for having me.
We're gonna
appreciate it.
Do this again, and we're gonna work together, man.
Rock and roll. Good luck, everybody.